Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 823rd episode of the Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the Stream. It's called Dave's Gone By. I'm Dave, and here's this. This is all the information about the show, except, of course, that it is November 6th, 2021. I feel it. You feel it in the weather.
Where did all October go?
And I mean, all things considered, I mean, when we were in Colorado, by the middle of October, we had our first snowstorm. Not that we got tons of snow, not that what everybody predicted for us to have while we were living there came true, that we were somehow living in Vail or Snohomish, wherever the hell that is, which isn't even in Colorado, but just there's this snow-packed thing that gets 5 feet every storm, not even remotely. But it was true that our weather went wintry by Halloween. And then, in the middle of November, we'd also have days that were 75 degrees. But here, what I know, everybody's been complaining about, the weather, it's cold and it's changing. It's like, it's November. We're in November. It's supposed to be chilly and a bit rainy. Well, I'm uncomplaining. I am non-complaining.
For the complaining people. That's for the others.
But it's true. It's sort of like, and I do know, somehow we feel that it's gotten a little chillier and a little ickier. Maybe because we had such nice weather for so many weeks earlier. But from living here most of my life, I do feel like New York doesn't get the really bad weather until Thanksgiving weekend. I would just say it would be very nice, you put a brisk jacket, it'd be cold in the mornings, but the days would be beautiful. But something would happen. Either one would go to my aunt's for Thanksgiving meals on Thursday nights or at some point that weekend, but usually it was on Thanksgiving Day. We would get this horrid mix of snow and rain, which some brilliant weatherman renamed Snain. And that would be the day. That would be Thanksgiving would be the moment that you would realize, thankful as we are, we're going to have 4 months now of heavy winter jackets, shoveling snow, icy roads. And I'm sure that will be the case this time because we're not really expecting any wet weather or anything nasty for the whole next week. But I will guarantee you, by the time Thanksgiving rolls around, Thanksgiving will get the snow, will get the 29-degree overnight weather, and there it will be. But anywho, so, if you woke up today and it was like 30-something degrees, hello, it's November. We will keep you warm here on Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, who basically saved the day this morning because our provider of Zoom, I love when they do this. They suddenly tell you, oh, by the way, your password.
David,
yeah.
I was literally on a telehealth call with my physician, and my computer's like, you need to reboot. I was like, don't reboot. And then the provider's going, don't reboot. And I'm going, don't reboot.
Usually with that, they give you like, do you want to reboot in 10 minutes? Do you want to reboot tomorrow?
No. Yeah. That's what Macs do. PCs automatically, they tell you and then they start doing it. And literally, we're both saying, don't reboot. I was like, modern love.
It really is. No, because I got the same thing day after day at work. I had to change. And this one, they warned me. It's like, your password is going to expire in 10 days. Whether you like it or not, whether you want it to or not, your password is going to expire in 10 days. Would you like to change it now? And in general, that message hits me. Well, I don't. When I just want to do my work, when I just want to get started, I want to start the day. I've got, 20 emails to deal with. And it's like, your password. And then 9 days. And 7 days. And 3 days, that's kind of like when the gas tank goes under half full. That's that moment when you're like, oh boy, did they mean 3 business days? If I come back on Monday, so, change the password. So I get this, not a warning to change my password during the week to get on Zoom, but the notification when I log on to to start this magnificent program going, your password has expired. You must change it now. Of course, it has been a long time since I touched or changed the password, so long that the password, of course, is automatic when I log in. So for months and months and months, I haven't had to remember what the hell my password is. I didn't even know what my username is. I just go, load Zoom, click yes, go Zoom. Now it's like, your password's expired. You need to do something. So I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. So I look and I find the old password in my list. I'm like, okay, let's do this new one. And then let's confirm this new one.
And the new ones never are good enough.
The new one is
like the new passwords are never good. It's like, you don't, and you're like, I have numbers, letters, capitals, smalls, everything. It's not a word. And you're like, does not.
Yeah. No, with me, it's also, I kind of want to remember it. I want it to be close to what, and half the time you get this thing of like, your new password is too close to your old. Of course it's too close to my old. That's how I fucking remember it. You want us to use passwords, the safe passwords are like asterisk 513 lollipop sugar ball 148732 elephant potato. Yeah. And it's like, great. It's fine. It's fine. So no bad guys can crack it. No hackers, except because Chinese hackers could hack it in 30 seconds. But in terms of me being able to hack what I need to remember for my own password, it's like, well, did the elephant come before or after the 157? Damn it. And meanwhile, they're really making me run through a rigmarole this morning, 10 minutes before I have to log on and start the show, because also it's like, not only the password, but you need to verify all your information. Is this your security question? It's like, yeah, this is my security question. It's like, what? Usually they're simpler, like what was your first best friend's name or something like that, and favorite sports team.
It's like, what could you write the equation for Einstein's formula of relativity?
It's like, check that out, and verify that. We need to text your phone, we need to text your office phone, we need to text your email. I notice I'm doing that. I should do this like Jackie Mason. I'm doing the Jackie Mason finger point. You need to check the email, and if you check the email, then it goes to the text, and then you check the text, and you look at the text, and it says, oh, you're sending yourself an email from the text. The email is typed in. It says, we sent you another text. It's like, go Starbucks. Anywho. 10 rather fraught minutes, because of course I've got guests coming on the program. So it's one thing for me to just do up another Zoom account but I've got like 4 different people who have the login code, the Zoom code, to come in. So I would have to contact them to let them know, and by text, which also, have you ever tried to send a Zoom thing on your phone by text, a sort of thing, like you're typing in
you could copy it from an email. You could just copy and paste it.
How? On a telephone?
Yeah,
how?
You copy, you highlight it on your phone, hit copy, go to your text, make a new text and paste.
See, Joyce does her email by phone. I strenuously avoid this. First of all, my phone can't handle it. If I type if I type 3 words into this phone, this is what I get. I can show you this. It doesn't. Yeah, this is my constant, forever message. Storage space running out. You have problems. Apps and items may not work on this telephone. And I went to T-Mobile. Now, please understand, this phone is well over 5 years old at this point, which makes it an abacus in a world of cyclotrons, But so I go to T-Mobile and say, okay, fine. It's warning me I've used up all my space. Uh-oh. Can I get some photographs off here? But if I try loading my photographs or emailing them, I'm using too much energy and my phone will shut down. Help me. And the guy, literally, he's at the store and he goes, well, yeah, you got some photos, but they're not taking up a lot of room because photos don't. You got no video on here. You got no, it's just, it's your phone using itself. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? It's like, it's your the actual amount of
memory.
Storage and memory. Yes.
You get a new phone, don't worry, we'll get you one.
Well, but I'm just saying, but the phone works. But if I want to do, like, I don't know, make a phone call on it, or anything beyond that, forget being, if I see something amazing, I want to take a movie, I won't be able to save it or anything. I mean, it's like, no, it's got nothing to do with apps that you've put on there or space that stuff you've saved is taking on there. It literally just needs all this memory to work as a current telephone. You need a new phone, bro. Imagine someone at T-Mobile in a store selling T-Mobile phones telling me that. Go figure.
It's true.
It's true. It's true. It's funny how people used like dial telephones from 1910 up until 1997 or something. I mean, yeah, they had to push buttons after a while. But, a phone that you had to be a telephone from the year Gimel still worked in the year Toph. It did. Your finger got sore doing this, as your finger would. But you could still use it properly. I guess I could still, I wonder, people still, I guess, use the old flippy phones. They would still work as a telephone.
Yeah, correct.
But God forbid you tried to do anything when you couldn't have a text.
Yeah, you can text with flip phones.
Oh, flip?
Yeah, of course. You can't do, you can text. You have very limited stuff, but you can text, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is like, and we're having this in the school where I work, too, because we're in the point now, transitioning over the past year or two, where all our students have devices, school devices. That was one of the things that came out of the pandemic. We're not having kids log on to their own things, or they're for a whole year they weren't in school.
Not have it. It's equity.
Yeah.
It's equity.
So we give them
equal access.
their stratospheric taxes pay for these kids getting iPads or Chromebook computers. The teachers having Macs, and it's school property. The school owns it, but the kids take it home and they use them and sometimes abuse them.
They probably use them for gaming.
Yeah, look at this. This is the place where my finger. I'm not giving. Notice I'm not holding my finger up the other way. So that is where a piece of glass from a broken iPad went into my finger a month ago. There it is. Isn't that beautiful? It's healing, thank God. It's nice new skin. But still. And why? Because, we're giving 7-year-olds Apple iPads. And, they're 7-year-olds.
Of course.
Listen, what will happen? I jumped on it.
No. Even your some high administrator in your school sat on 2 iPads.
That's fine.
So
I'm not
it's
going to
not
tell
only
you.
the kids. We have people who sit on them.
It's true.
Sit on them. Yeah.
Yeah, stuff can break. Stuff breaks. If you give out 1,000 devices.
People make mistakes with stuff, even if you're careful. When I had a Mac from a job years ago, I had my earplugs in the Mac, and I moved away, and I pulled the Mac off the desk with the earphones in, with my connected earplugs. So it happened.
And she's absolutely. I mean, yes, stuff breaks, and everybody. And things happen, but it's just like you've got all these devices going out. It's more than just. They've got them. Sometimes they lose them. So one time, the parents couldn't find them, and we're able to trace them. We're able to we're tracking things, and we found that it's in China. Literally, I don't know if that family was Chinese and they went to China over the vacation or what, or they sold it. Who the hell knows?
Wow.
But suddenly, we were able to turn the device off from 8,000 miles away.
That's great. Isn't that amazing?
It is. It's scary also, but it's amazing.
That's amazing.
But the problem with all these people now back in school and local and using all these devices at the same time is that now we're scrambling so that when they watch a movie or something in class, that it doesn't start rolling, that there's enough bandwidth for all these people using all this stuff. And so we're thinking, we're going to get FiOS because our current whatever isn't enough. It's never enough.
That's crazy.
And it is one of the great. I only hope that the infrastructure bill, that I don't know if you know this, passed last night or this morning.
Oh, good.
They ran through out of the 3 million they ran through. I hope part of that infrastructure is internet, because as we saw in that documentary,
they have a lot of broadband. They have some broadband.
No, but I mean, I think what is it? We're 20th on the list of countries on the map in terms of our speed and power of the internet. It's like we're slower than Denmark. We're slower than other. I think we're slower than India.
I think Sweden had, like, we were in Sweden and there was Wi-Fi everywhere. There was public Wi-Fi.
Yeah, no dead spots, and we've become accustomed to, if you have a cable thing like Verizon has FiOS, which is apparently a lot better. But if you're working off a cable system, you're accustomed to, all right, this will take 20 minutes to upload, and now I got this download, and it's a little spotty, and I'm waiting, and it's not working, and you got it's like other countries don't have that. I mean, other countries don't have indoor bathrooms, but their internal Wi-Fi is all right? So I'm hoping, all the time I was thinking of infrastructure, roads and bridges and the subways and tunnels and buses and all of the physical infrastructure. But I hope they set aside a little bit of money to help with the internet infrastructure of America, because that's going to be, where the next 80 years of business and life will be conducted. So, and the sermon from me, Dave Lefkowitz. Hon, how was your week?
It was good. I didn't have any problems logging into stuff. That was good.
Yeah.
I thought that was
That is very good, yeah. Anything else? Any other good or negative or whatever things?
I got more blood drawn, which is great. So,
yes.
Hey, it is what it is.
Well, yeah.
As one of my students calls it, the non-healthcare system. I went to the non-healthcare system.
No, I wanted to get my blood drawn, and all the graphic artists are so busy with advertising. They can do little droplets and they do nice rivulet, but to hire one,
Sometimes you want a good picture, but they say it all looks the same, right?
I'm gonna get my blood painted, oil painted. That'd be look really realistic, I think. Anyway, I'll tell you more about my week, and we'll do some more fun stuff on Dave's Gone By. We're just getting started. I'm just clearing the phlegm from my throat as we begin this episode of the show. First of all, I should mention that we've been on the air since October of 2002. So we are I never get this right, but we're in our 20th season, which means we've done more than 19 years of programs. That's how we managed to climb up to 823.
That's amazing.
The program itself is a mix of humor and talk and music and culture. We like to scramble it. We have been scrambling them since our very first episode, which, by the way, you can watch at davesgoneby.com anytime you choose. You can watch our 100th or our 500th or 700th, our 701st episode, and second and third and fourth. They're all up there at davesgoneby.com. Just letting you know that. So yeah, and we are now doing it and have been for many years, Saturday mornings from 9 until noon or thereabouts, Eastern time, right here in the Daverhood, right here on Facebook. This Facebook page. If, again, we get all the Facebook people watching live, and then other people can either go on Facebook later, if they missed it, they're automatically saved here. But davesgoneby.com also has the archives. So there are folks who don't want to give their personal information. They're afraid of Facebook and so forth. We should
also reach out. Maybe this weekend we'll reach out to our friends, Friendy.
Well, yeah, we should ask how they're doing too. But davesgoneby.com, the website for that. But on this particular episode of the program, first of all, we're going to do what we do every week, and that is venture to lovely northern Colorado, Greeley, Colorado, in fact, where this particular newspaper is published.
You got a bunch of new potatoes, David. That's
something
that happens.
This is exciting. Yes, yeah. And let me tell what's going to be on the program, and then I will have the excitement of potatoing. Okay. Oh, and Doug!
Yes.
Doug!
Yeah, everybody's been texting me and emailing me about your dog.
Doug. Well, hell, let me get through this really quickly. Greeley Tribune. Okay, newspaper. You get on the interwebs. They publish 4 times a week now, and they have 2 columns in there, one of which has to do with phone calls that come into the Greeley Police Dispatch, the funny ones, the weird ones. People see stuff happening in their neighborhoods. And then you have 100 years ago, where our friend Mike Peters at the Greeley Tribune goes through the newspapers, that literal actual newspapers from 1921, and picks out the weirdest, funniest things to modern eyes. We mix them up. We call it Greeley Crimes and Old Times. Did I get that? I think I got that. Okay, good. Next.
I think, would you do it a little faster? I think you did it too slow.
I'll do the Charlie Callis way.
1.5 time.
Now, we'll also have our Today, Yesterday History Quiz. Ooh, that's become one of our most popular segments, and our most popular people will be part of it. Vicki Quade, David Sheward, and Leslie Hoban Blake will be playing our history game. We ask them trivia questions, and of course you at home get to play along, like when you're watching Jeopardy 2 or Wait, Don't Tell Me. So, yeah, and that's a lot of fun. That will be today, our Today, Yesterday quiz for things that happened on November 6th in history. We'll also have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, ladies and gentlemen. This is where I make a horrible, horrible poem, short little poem, all about someplace in Colorado. We've done some of the obvious easy ones like Vail. Everything rhymes with Vail. Or what are some of the other places that...
Golden.
Golden. Yeah, I'm sure we did Golden. It rhymes with a... doesn't rhyme with a lot. Lafayette. Yeah, we've done well over 100, actually more than maybe 150 of these things. We're still doing them. I'm still trying to write new ones.
How many towns are in the state, I wonder?
What in the state? What?
How many towns are in the state?
It's actually in the hundreds. That's the when you talk about cities, little towns, counties, municipalities, it's amazing.
Yeah. That makes sense. Like they're smaller. They're places. They're smaller, but yeah.
Every block in Colorado seems to have a different name for it. And you find the same in New York, actually, or anywhere else. So this is exciting to me because I get to write more poems about them.
Yeah. This
Saturday, November 6th, we go to Stratton, Colorado. Stratton, Colorado for our Limerick. Stratton. Stratton. So strat yourselves in. I'm not just a broadcaster, I'm a stratocaster. Yeah. Stratton, Colorado for our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. And most importantly, this fella, this guy, this is my cousin.
When he was a baby.
Yeah, cousin Joshy. This is a disturbing little button right here. Joshy's still sexy at 30.
Did he make that himself?
No, I hope not. And for a 30-year-old, I don't know, if I were a girl going after a guy, he's a little too youthful at age 30 right there. But no,
that's a joke, honey.
I know. He's my cousin Josh Pinkow. He is, let me put it, my late father's sister, Bonnie, has 3 children, 3 wonderful children. There's Adam, there's Stephanie, and then the youngest of the bunch, the guy who came along almost like a decade earlier than they did, his name is Josh.
Later.
Oh, later, sorry, closer to now, yes. He's the youngest of the 3. His name is Joshua. Joshua Pinkow, great guy, very exuberant, boisterous fella.
Wait, is he speaking to you, or is he speaking to...
He's speaking to me. He's his cousin Dave today. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. It'll be Moa, unless the rabbi wants to make an appearance, but no. We're keeping it in the family, as it were. So we will have cousin Josh on the program. I don't think he's ever been on,
really?
Even on our New Year's things, because he's usually busy.
Are you sure?
I am not 100%, but I'm pretty sure. Now, we've never had him on for a real anything ever, which is a shame, because my other cousins, I do believe, have been on, at least briefly.
For New Year's, Stephanie and Adam.
Yeah, and their kids, they did it last year or 2 years ago. So Josh is a really, really good...
Did you interview cousin Adam, Josh's brother, about that Farting Christmas CD? Remember he gave you that?
I don't know if... I'm not sure.
No.
But I think Adam's been on the program very briefly. I don't know. But anyway, Josh... This is a very good week to have him on the program. It's been a very, very happy week because it's been a shitty year for our family in a lot of ways. My dad died back in May. My uncle on my mother's side, he was killed back in January. And just also the pandemic and all the stuff going on. But for my cousin Josh and his lovely wife Dana, about a week ago, they made something even younger than this. They have a baby, and I am, fingers crossed, we're going to have the baby's first TV appearance. Like 6 or 7 or 8 day old child. I'll tell the name later.
Is the rabbi going to do the bris?
Of course he is.
You.
He's filing his front teeth to get it done. So Josh Pinkow and we're hoping briefly Dana and also little young Pinkow will be with us.
Wouldn't a young pink cow be a pink calf?
I love that.
Right? Pink calf?
Pink calf.
That's like a baby cow. Right?
You gotta remind me of that. We gotta do
I
that.
Think so.
Gotta have
I'll
that.
be at the gym, honey.
Oh, but yeah, so I'm very excited and very happy, of course. Well, what could be happier? And I'll talk to Josh about his life and career, his memories of yours truly, his years in college. He had a cool job. I don't know if he's going to talk about it or willing to, but for several years,
you might have a agreement when you can.
Yeah,
like
but he set up deals for like really famous sports people. You know how you see them shilling for stuff and putting their names on packaging and doing commercials for things, and they make gazumping $1 million doing that. He was putting together those kinds of deals with this company that he was at. And he's told me all sorts of stories. Whether he'd be willing or able to share them here, I'm just hoping.
There?
No. I think he's in real estate now, but I am not 100% sure. We'll find out when I talk to my cousin Joshua Pinkow in about half an hour, right here on this program. So yeah, very cool. So there's so much to talk about. You got the infrastructure bill. You got all these state workers quitting rather than go through a vaccine mandate. I want to talk about that.
Police, right?
Talk about what happened to the Democrats in the elections this week. But first and foremost, and most of all, Josh is not the only one who got a beautiful little surprise. Well, it wasn't really a surprise for him. A beautiful little gift this week. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a baby Papito here. Little baby potato came to us. Now you usually know. Where's the mama? Oh, she's sleeping. Hold on. Let me get Mama Tater, who gave us our baby this week.
I don't think they're related, hon.
Yeah, come on. They're all. Right. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I mean it's rather tough for this to be pushing out this. Now let's see if we can wake Mama up. Mama, go away. Look, come on, we just want to get you on the air for a minute. Oh my uterus! Oh my uterus! You don't have a uterus. You're a potato. Tell us about.
No, they arrive from different places in different packages. That's all.
Do you know how incredibly painful that is for a uterus?
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, if it was in the same place, it would be nothing. But one came out in Kansas, the other came out in Iowa.
I think Murray came from Kansas. That's the only thing we know from Kansas.
That could be. So look how cute. Have you named it? Potato? Well, yes. That's a very good name, Potato. So, what would you like Papito here, Potato, to be when he or she, well, I can't really, let's see, she grows up? What would you like to see from? I wanted to love, honor, and obey Ketchup. I think that's, can you do that, Papito? Don't really have maternal feelings for this thing. It's just a potato, but what the hell? Okay, maybe do you need to have some private time to nurse little Papito? Oh God, not again. Well, I'll get you the ketchup. You can do it. They're gonna go over there. I'm gonna feed the little potato ketchup. Now this is an exciting day for us in the Daverhood, not just because baby Papito arrived, but also, did you see this? This made world news. This went viral. Doug.
Oh yes, everybody sent it. Thanks, Susan. My colleague Susan sent the link, Everybody said they couldn't resist sharing Doug with me for you.
Can you get that up? Just I don't remember what country.
No,
was it Denmark or?
I'll give you the. Sue sent me the. I'll get you from
The
Sue.
link. I just don't remember what country it was because it's strange that they chose the name Doug. If you haven't heard about this, and we were going to save this for potato news, but I just can't because.
Oh, she sent the NPR story. He made NPR.
Of course he made NPR.
Ooh.
He should have made the New York Times with this.
Let's go. Okay, New Zealand, honey.
New Zealand.
You want to show the picture here? Maybe?
Yes.
Here, I can't reach. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Your phone number's on here, right? It's just
No, yeah, it's just the picture. He's in Doug in a dump truck.
This is Doug. That is now. It looks like a giant brioche, doesn't it?
He's outstanding.
Yeah, he's outstanding in the road.
He set the bar pretty high for other potatoes.
Because that's what he is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happened. A guy in New Zealand, the home of...
The story's there, honey. You could read through if you wish.
Donna and Colin Craig Brown in Hamilton or near Hamilton. New Zealand. What's that?
Hamilton.
Oh, hell. I missed that. They were weeding. These two people were just weeding in their garden in New Zealand when Colin's hoe, and his wife wasn't thrilled about him having a hoe, but there you go, struck something huge just beneath the surface of the soil. As the couple knelt down and began digging around the object, Colin wondered if it was some kind of fungal growth, like a giant puffball or a mushroom. But when he finally pried the thing out with his garden fork, we should get a garden fork.
Maybe I don't think we have a garden, Bubba.
Oh, that's true. He scratched away a bit of the skin, and when you do this, he tasted it.
But when you do it, like, so I eat raw potato, but when I have a pear or apple and I take off the sticker, as soon as you cut that off or take that off, it starts to, not do well.
Well, yeah. But the thing was, if you see something on the ground and you're not sure whether it's an enormous mushroom,
well, you know what? Maybe
do you taste it?
He was looking for a high. Maybe
some
people lick frogs, right? They use toads.
We couldn't believe it, Donna said. It was just huge and not exactly pretty. Donna describes its appearance as more of an ugly mutant look. It does have sort of an elephant man. I mean,
mutant look?
That thing is a potato. That's the little part that got scraped away when they dug it up and tested it to see what the hell it was. It is quite possibly.
Did they tell they were growing potatoes?
Well, it's in their garden. They weren't growing potatoes. This was not a potato patch. This was not a potato field.
That's even more freaky. I thought it was just an extraordinary...
No, this was like a migrant.
Oh, wow.
It is possibly the largest potato on record. When the couple lugged it into their garage and put it on their old scale, it weighed a remarkable almost 8 kilograms, which is 17 and a quarter pounds.
That's amazing.
That's equal to a couple of sacks of regular potatoes or a small dog. As you say, it's bigger. That is bigger than either of the dogs we have. Yeah.
Our one was like 13 or 14, and they went down to like 8 or 9, I think.
And this makes me so happy. In the weeks since their unusual find back on August 30th, the couple's potato...
They're celebrities.
Yes! They've named the potato Doug after the way it was unearthed. I love it. I love it. Colin even built a small cart to tow Doug around. Oh, here's his wife. Here's Donna. Oh, isn't it? Kind of looks like a manatee thinking, doesn't it? Look at it. I'll hold it like a little closer.
It looks
like it's got a little fist.
Some sort of bread.
Yeah. Oh, how beautiful. In a horrible way. We put a hat on him. We put him on Facebook, took him for walks, gave him some sunshine. It's all a bit of fun. Amazing what entertains people. Thank you. I'll take that one personally. A more official weigh-in at a farming store put Doug at like 1 slight kilogram less, 0.1 kilogram less. The current Guinness record entry for the heaviest potato is a monster from Britain that weighed in at under 5 kilograms.
Wow.
Couple says they've applied to Guinness to have Doug recognized. They're waiting to hear back. Guinness has not immediately replied for comment. Colin said he doesn't have any secret special gardening tips. Usually they throw a bunch of cow manure and straw onto their garden and see what happens.
But They weren't growing potatoes?
No. He
Where?
said they were growing cucumbers in that area of the garden.
There must have been some potato seed, or maybe they
Yeah.
threw a potato in there as like
As part of
potato
compost or something. They had never planted their potatoes.
Whoa.
He must have been self-sown, growing for a couple of years or more. It's one of nature's pleasant little surprises.
That's
He did in his totally non-New Zealand accent. But Doug has not proved easy to look after. After the couple showed their potato off, it began drying out and losing weight. Mold started to grow from its wounds. He was getting a bit pongy, said Colin, referring to the potato smell. So Colin cleaned them up as best he could and put the potato in the freezer where it remains. However, Colin may not be. This is the sad part. Don't listen, Papito. This could be traumatic for you. An amateur brewer, Colin says he's been keen to turn Doug into a nice drop of potato vodka.
These guys are too skinny.
I know. Well, yeah. Look. Compared to Doug.
I mean, they're minuscule.
But let's face it, they are cuter than Doug, right? Aren't they? Aren't we, Mama?
Doug is an edible potato. These guys are just your friends. These are your family. Doug is not their family.
This is true.
They adopted Doug, but he had some problems. These are your family.
Yeah. Well, actually, Doug didn't have any problems. Well, until they dug him up and started, slicing bits to eat and check.
We don't know if they did that. I mean, we don't.
Yeah. Well, he's in the freezer now, so he's like Walt Disney. Doug is going to be cryogenically brought back to make vodka at some point. But isn't this the most wonderful story? What a week. I get a little baby cousin. I get a little baby Papito. And the world has by far the largest potato ever grown. I'm just, it's been a rather good time these past few weeks, but boy, that's bigger and greater than just about everything else.
I'll leave this for the gym.
So, what else can we, before we get to Greeley, or maybe we should get to Greeley Crimes at all times and talk about more stuff.
Like maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's start our show properly improper with a segment that we do every week. I mentioned it before. It's called Greeley Crimes and Old Times, and it has to do with criminal activity, perhaps.
David, when they say a spud named Doug, is that a take on a boy named Sue? Do you think it's like they're making
Maybe a spud, yeah. Maybe.
The title of the NPR thing was
a spud? No, or just the idea that most people don't name their potatoes.
Really?
Even we all our potatoes, many of them are named potato. It's not like we run around naming one, Maurice and Sheila.
True.
Yeah, no, they're all potato. Anywho, let's go to Greeley, Colorado for some crimes and old times. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Greeley Crimes and Old Times live on this Saturday, November 6th, 2021. So the criminality stuff, those are recent. Those are from the past 2 or 3 weeks that actually happened or were phoned in to the police department dispatch in northern Colorado. And those are compiled, and the funniest ones are put in the paper. And then also from the paper 100 years ago, 1921, these are items that happened and were reported on in what was then called the Greeley Tribune Republican. Are you ready to get criminal, dear? Are you ready for some crime and Elden times? Joyce has to check something.
Sometimes I get the gym time wrong,
Oh, hold on.
It's nothing, no email.
Okay, here we go, because we have a crime. Oh no, we have a crime!
Where's my, okay.
A woman on 23rd Street thought, you always know when you get that verb, thought her vehicle was in park.
Oh no.
But when she got out of the car,
it
started moving and crashed into her neighbor's fence.
At least not into her neighbor.
Well, yeah. But that's that's the moment when you cue the Laurel and Hardy music. When someone's walking around with a boombox, just going, da 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 da. Oh no, it's the little rascals.
Was anyone hurt? As long as it's just a.
No, it's just a fence, but just the idea of hopping out of your car and not realizing, oops. A caller on 18th Street.
Oh, wait a second.
How is the phone ringing? Do you have the phone?
Oh wait, hold on, I do.
Hold on.
Wait,
There. That's right. I thought I heard the phone. I have presentiments like that. Hello. Yeah. I'm here. You're on 18th Street. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, okay. I'll let everyone know. A caller reported that a kid bullied other kids at basketball tryouts and referred to the ones who did not make the team as trash.
Oh!
That's why they call it trash talking, for God's sakes. This made the pay. Well, this also made someone call the police about this.
Well, maybe there's some that's bad. Bullying is not good though. Bullying is not bueno.
No, of course not.
No bueno.
No, if I could have called the cops and had them shoot the bullies I had when I was growing up.
Bullying is una cosa muy mala.
Yeah. No, believe me, it's a lucky thing that in these Alec Baldwin days there was not a loaded weapon in the house when I was growing up.
People kill themselves for bullying. I think we don't. I mean, I went to private school, so if there was bullying and then the nuns knew about it, they would be the enforcers. Like they would stop it.
Yeah, that didn't happen in
so
public school.
So you were more afraid of the teachers or the principal or somebody, the punishment from them, and then your family would say, "Oh, if they did it, guess what? You get more punishment at home." So I think most people didn't.
Yeah,
they had a tight lock on it. Although I did have a red-haired kid who went like he lost his marbles in class. And so we used to sit together in desks and grade each other's work, and I think I was grading him and he was grading me, and then somebody said something to him, because he looked like Howdy Doody, he was freckled and red hair. He got up and just started screaming. And I was the lunch monitor for that class, it was Mrs. O'Brien.
Yeah.
And she loved to smoke, and she was back, and she was like, what's happening? And he just lost it, and they had to get him out of the classroom. He just.
Well, that's not bullying. That's something else.
But somebody said something to him, like they said an insult, "Howdy Doody" or something, and he lost.
All
his
those
mind.
gingers.
No, but he lost his mind. He lost it. I never saw anybody.
Have you ever checked what happened to him?
No.
If you don't mention the full name, but if you can ever see if he's on Facebook, go ga 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 ga.
He was not. He was. Yeah. He had.
Or did he become like a senator?
He lost his mind. I mean, I never saw that.
Well, people have their crazy moments. They do.
It was the straw that broke the camel's back for him. I think he had a lot of.
Now he might have grown up to be this next person who's mentioned in Greeley Crimes here. I don't even know what noise to make. This is a brand new alert. We're calling this the. I'll do it this way. This is a Polish criminal alert. Polish criminal alert. You tell me if this doesn't fit. A caller on 29th Street reported a man. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we got this. Reporting a man tried to steal from the cashier, but he couldn't make it over the plexiglass.
Oh, come on.
He ended up leaving behind his black leather bag.
No.
So now I can just envision this guy going to a bank or whatever it was, demanding something, and say, wait, no, let me just climb over this. And then when he couldn't make it, he actually leaves his bag and identifying materials. That is, in fact, a Polish criminal alert, ladies and gentlemen, of the very best sense.
It happens.
It do. And who knew? Who knew all these COVID protocols would come in handy and perhaps save a life?
Yeah, but, why would you...
Joyce just went, yes, but why would...
No, I got nothing.
They got nothing. No. Hey, let's do some old-time things. Let's do a couple of stories that were in the paper in 1921 in northern Colorado. Frank Barber. Well, he made some cutting remarks. Frank Barber, former Greeley city alderman. Thank you. This is cool. I like this. He once voted for an ordinance which made it illegal to drive an auto past a city streetcar while it is unloading passengers. So he made it illegal that you can't, like when you can't pass a school bus while it's doing its thing.
Comes out the stick, the triangle.
So he posted an ordinance that when you see a streetcar unloading people, you can't go for it. This week he violated the ordinance and got a ticket. In court, he said, and this is cool, quote, he gladly paid the $9 fine because the ordinance is important.
Well, you remember we saw somebody leaving the police precinct drive through a red light.
Yes, I know, right?
In a huge
might have been a cop, might not have been.
But that's scary, going through, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were 6 lanes, because 2 coming this way, 2 coming that way, and that way. So, no, there was 8. It was 8 lanes. 2 coming toward, 2 coming against in the street.
Right.
2 coming this way, and then 2 coming that way. That's 8.
Yeah.
8 lanes of traffic.
And he just went to, because that's a long light, and he just went through it. Whoever that was. Like feet from the front of the police station.
Yeah.
I am seeing, we've talked about this, I am seeing more and more, just crazy, oblivious drivers. Like, someone who will want to gain an extra 2 feet to get home, and was just going this lane and that lane. Half the time they don't signal. It's absolutely, I'm amazed. And I did see someone go through a red light this week, and not that one. Do you
think it's the cold weather, or what? What do you think is?
I think it's just people being. Well, I don't know. I never remember all growing up. I never drove in New York. So these are my first years actually driving in.
But you're in the country here.
Well, this is exurbia.
What do you want?
I just don't. And people have said, well, it's the pandemic and it's made people.
No, I don't know.
I think it's just people are assholes on the road. It does astonish me.
It's lack of sleep. What do you think? Something like that.
Too.
Huh?
But especially like Friday afternoons, people just want to get home.
Going home. They've had the week.
I'm like, this guy's turning in front of me. He's not supposed to. I'm like, what? I'm literally honking at him. Anywho. Oh! This is, oh my goodness, what a day this is. Guess what kind of alert we have, babe? Guess what kind of alert?
Chicken, hobo, potato, Fort Lupton.
Yes! Lupton alert! Oh, wait.
Get your tambourine.
Wait, hold on, I got it. Where's my tambourine? Oh, it's over here. But here's my Lupton alert. Yay!
Lupton! Alert.
Yes.
David, let's enjoy this one because I have to leave after this.
All right, well, it's a Fort Lupton alert. You cannot leave in the middle of a Fort Lupton alert.
Oh, no.
A Fort Lupton alert has to do with a story that is coming or is about Fort Lupton, Colorado. And why is that so important? Because I love the word Lupton. Say it with me, won't you? Lupton. Don't just say Lupton. No, Lupton. Let the law roll out of your mouth. Lupton. Fort Lupton, Colorado. There's a story about it. It's not a funny story, but it's just...
You look so happy with the Fort Lupton.
7 men from Fort Lupton, 2 from Brighton, and 6 more from various towns in Weld County, excuse me, were all charged with theft. They burgled the Cable Brothers, a mercantile shop in Windsor, Colorado. All of the stolen goods. Yeah, they recovered all the stolen goods, which is kind of nice. So that was our Lupton alert. The alert is much more fun than the actual story usually when we get those. But a Lupton alert. Let's do our elsewhere.
I'm going to have to go, honey, because I have to wash up and I got to do gym. Tell Josh and Dana congratulations for me. Okay,
I absolutely will. We'll go elsewhere, though. We're gonna when we do Greeley Crimes and Old Times, sometimes we usually try to get 1 or 2 stories from elsewhere in the world. Now, you should be content with the story of Doug that we told before. I mean, Doug, the humongoid New Zealand potato. What?
I need to go to the bathroom and I can't go.
Doug, when we told that story. But we have another story from elsewhere, not as far as New Zealand. Here we're only going to Florida and Chicago. So this has nothing to do with Weld County or Greeley, or northern Colorado. This is elsewhere in the world. Anyone who's ever tried to drink a glass of orange juice soon after brushing their teeth knows, excuse me, that toothpaste makes the juice taste funny. We all know this. Nobody wants to eat anything really right after you brush your teeth. Whole point of brushing your teeth is you're getting all the food out of it. But yeah, okay, fine. But among the things that taste really worse after brushing your teeth is orange juice. Well, most people, normal people, intelligent, regular people, simply decide not to eat or drink after brushing their teeth, right? But Tropicana has a different solution. Because I'll ring and then I'll comment. The company announced on social media that it will be releasing a limited edition Tropicana toothpaste on November 1st. And this new toothpaste will not ruin the flavor of orange juice. It seems there's an image on Instagram of Tropicana's Instagram account that boasts that this new toothpaste has, quote, maximum OJ flavor protection because this product lacks sodium lauryl sulfate, which is a little ingredient that leaves a bitter aftertaste when matched with juice. And so it's amazing how incredibly corporate company driven our whole world, our whole life is, particularly as Americans, but as anything else. And sometimes that's really fantastic. It has its positive attributes, but it is so weird. It's like a company is always thinking of ways to improve the world specifically so that it can sell more product. Magazine, you want to get away from communism versus capitalism or socialism or modified this or whatever. That is just, no. It's whether you're deciding for the life of the people, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling on this because I haven't connected these thoughts yet. It just occurred to me now of like our way of life is governed by people who want to sell us stuff. And they're going to do whatever they can to sell us stuff, sometimes terrible, dumping toxic things in water so they can make more products in their factories, or sometimes amazingly things, sending people up to the moon, and in doing so, they discover cures for things, and they discover mechanical objects that then filter down into objects that we use in everyday life. So, and then I guess in other countries, it's just about kind of using what they have and trying to make sure that everybody gets as much, everybody can live at least at one decent standard of living, and then if you can do better, you do better. But with us, with our way of life, it's like companies make stuff, and they're desperate for us to buy stuff. And if they can figure out a way or some reason that we're not buying as much stuff as we would, they put their energies into creating a method that will allow us to buy more stuff. And let's hear it for Tropicana. Tropicana thought, and I'm sure this is true, that vast majority of people brush their teeth when they get up in the morning. It's part of the morning ritual. You get up, you go to the bathroom, comb the hair, do whatever, deodorant, and you start your day. You brush your teeth because you're going to be with people, right? You don't want your breath to stink. And then you go downstairs, and you're going to have some kind of breakfast, right? But coffee, fine, gotta have the coffee, the hot, and wake you up. Going to have, but they realize, I would have juice. I would like a nice cup of orange juice in the morning. Chilled glass of orange juice is very nice. But no, when I brush my teeth, it defeats the purpose. So Tropicana thinks to itself, now we can tell everybody if you buy our toothpaste, right? So it's a double gimme on Tropicana's part. If you buy our toothpaste, then you can also buy more of our orange juice. Yes. 2021. Oh, what a world we live in. Yay. And of course, I always also have to think, we cannot control fires in California. We're still figuring out how to prevent pandemics, but boy, oh boy, we figured out a viable way to make the taste of orange juice good right after we brush our teeth. We have put millions of dollars and corporate R&D into that. I know this is a sarcastic clap, but it's also like a, you go, Tropicana, you go. Anyway, my name's not Hugo, my name is Dave, and we are doing some Greeley crimes in old times right here on Dave's Gone By. In just a couple of minutes, I should be joined by my cousin, Joshua, and hopefully his new member of the family, and I'm hoping his wife as well. So before then, we'll do one or two more crimes in old times. Let's see. A caller on 8th Avenue reporting a man and a woman tried to buy items from a business, but their card was declined. After he ran outside to stop them, the two tried to run him over. Jeepers. Yeah, they say if people are willing to commit one kind of crime, they are perhaps more likely to commit another kind of crime if you go. Just get their license plate next time. Just yeah. A caller near 50th Avenue. Oh, hello. Tell me about it, right? Okay. Oh, he was? The guy's reporting a man listening to satanic music outside by a fire pit. The caller thought he was on drugs. Yeah, I would. You know what? That's a very. I'm sure. And meth, most. Oh yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Bye. Yeah. So, yeah. If you have a neighbor who is listening to satanic music by a fire pit, chances are they're taking prescription Xanax. One more crime, one more piece of criminality for Greeley Crimes in Old Times this week on Dave's Gone By. A caller on 13th Avenue believed he was on the FBI watch list and listed as a terrorist. Okay? Because of this, drones were above his home and following him. Now, this is not as crazy, perhaps, as it sounds, because I was talking this past 2 weeks with a colleague in the office who actually owns a home drone, and he was just giving me this whole explanation of where in New York State you can and you can't fly drones, and there are certain places where that there are such no-fly zones. Like we were talking before, how you can track a computer all the way to China. Here, the FAA will ground your drone if you're trying to fly it anywhere near one of the airports. So not only will you get a fine or a ticket or something, if it's or they won't even make it crash. It will not lift off the ground because the FAA has it in such a way that in that spot you're not allowed to fly a drone. You couldn't even if you tried to. But anyway, I'm not going to drone on and on about this. I'm just saying, but it is possible with everybody owning for like $1,000 you can get these drones, and they're pretty amazing actually. It's possible. Maybe the guy saw his neighbor, practicing and thought, they're after me. And this is how they got Bin Laden, and Alec Baldwin. Anyway, this has been Greeley Crimes in Old Times right here on the Dave's Gone By Facebookio Podcastio Programmio of the Stream.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool. I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi, 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 yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Dave's Gone By live on this Saturday morning, November 6, 2021. I'm Dave Lefkowitz, the producer and host of the program, as I have been since we first went on the air back in October of 2002. I've had a lot of members of my family on this program, and it's one of the proud reasons that I've done it for all these months and years. Because in real life, I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to deal with people, even family, much as I love them. I'm like, if I'm at a party or whatever, it's like, get me out of here. But if I can bring them on here and have the world watching me talk to a relative, it's a whole different story. So I had some of the best conversations of my life with my father, my late father, when he would call into the program for many, many times for years. And these hours and hours of fun conversations with my dad are part of the history of Dave's Gone By. My mom, not so much. I think in all these years, she's a very shy person, a very private person. So I think if we have literally 5 minutes of her voice over 20 years of broadcasting, that's a lot. But at least her voice is on there. Right? Never physically, or my dad never physically, because we were a radio show for so many years. But I've also had some of my cousins on. My cousin Adam Glass has been on several times recently, and that's been really great. And it's important to me. It's meaningful to me. So I'm going to admit into the Daverhood one of my cousins, my first cousin. He is the youngest of 3 first cousins of my father's sister. His name is Joshua Pinkow. He's on mute, so I'll ask him to unmute himself. Find that button, Cousin Josh.
There it is.
There it is. Joshua
David.
Pinkow in the Daverhood. Hey, man.
How are you?
Are you getting any sleep at all?
Getting some sleep. I'll knock on wood. Little Luke's been the champion for the most part. Sleeps in some chunks. If I can get some, 2 or 3 hour chunks in the middle of the night, I'm good. And I'm like a 6 hour night sleeper regardless. So I'm doing okay. Not too terrible, thankfully. Knock on wood. Let's hope that doesn't change.
Well, let's tell people what you are referring. Little Luke was born when?
October 24th.
So it's been it's about 8 or 9 days now. It's what?
Yeah, a little bit. 11 days. Time is just nonsensical to me at this point. Every day is the same. So what is this? The 6th? Oh yeah, about 12 days or so. So
Luke is a male. You've checked, right?
Yeah, we checked thoroughly.
Good. And Luke is how much was he? 7? How many?
7 pounds 9 ounces. 21.5 inches long. A little healthy boy.
Thank God. God willing, God willing.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
are you? Where are you guys living? You and Dave?
Oceanside now. So we were in Long Beach. We had our apartment in Long Beach that we loved. In the beginning of COVID, when the pandemic started, 2 people are working from home. We have the dog, and we had a great apartment, but it shrinks down very quickly. We're both working from the dining room table, so we listed the apartment and ended up buying a house in Oceanside. So we've been here. Yeah, thank you. We've been here now since I guess December of last year. We closed December 2020.
How do you like living in? Are you near an ocean at all? Do you go to?
We are relatively close to the water still. Across the street from us, everybody's on their backyard is a dock, so they're right on the water there. We're beach people still. So Long Beach not too far from us, but we're there every weekend in the summer.
So here's the thing. We'll save the reveal, but I hope you can bring on the tot for at least a moment.
I can see. I think Dana might be feeding him at the moment, I'll text her and see if she can bring him in. But we'll see. If
not during that particular. Much as I'd like to see her hooters in that moment, no, would not. So this is also kind of meaningful to me. Luke, nice Jewish boy, not so much a Jewish name. Where did that L come from? Was that for?
That was for my father, for Les. Obviously, I was going to spare the kid being called Lester for his whole life, as much as I love my father. So went with an L name, and I've got to tell you, it's like a little challenging finding some good L names. And my brother and sister already have their kids with an L name, so I tried to follow the suit. But we ran through it a little bit. Luke, nice name, kind of liked it. And then the middle name, Foster, F name for Dana's grandmother, Florence.
Right.
Yep, and who passed away the same week as Uncle Philip, actually, as your father, literally 2 days apart. And then we did the Hebrew name at his bris. We named him Fievel for your father, actually, and I spoke to Aunt Brenda about that, which I was very happy to be able to do.
Right. So my dad's name was Philip, but his Hebrew name was Fievel, and so you the middle name of Luke is Foster, F for her grandma, and F for my dad, and the full Hebrew name, Fievel, which is
exactly
neat. So, why did you not call Rabbi Saul Solomon to do the bris?
I've seen those hands at work. I needed somebody with a steady hand for that one.
I cannot blame you there. I can't blame you. Do you have any stories? Yeah, I know the kid's only like 12 days old, but do you have any amazing Luke stories or stories about you guys dealing with Luke as brand new parents?
I mean, listen, the first one that cracked me up, I mean, I guess now in the hospital, Dana gives birth and they leave the baby in the room with you, which is great because they want you to get as much attention. Obviously, now in the pandemic, as little exposure to everybody else as possible. So they leave the baby in the room with you. So Dana gives birth, they put the baby down and it's sleeping in the bassinet there. And I try to conk out for a little bit because it had been a long stretch. It was like 36 hours since we had first gotten there.
Stretch being literal. I mean,
Yeah, it was a long weekend. So try to get some sleep, and all of a sudden the baby starts crying. And I look at Dana, I was like, all right, well, shoot, what are we doing here? And I hit the nurse's button for them to come in. They come in, it's like, well, is everything okay? I said, yeah, the baby's crying. And they look at us, they say, okay, feed him. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And it's like the immediate realization that is like, okay, we have no real idea what we're doing here. Figure that out very quickly.
No, but you didn't take classes. You didn't read like 20 Dr. Spock books or whatever.
I mean, listen, right? Read some books, did some research, but all that is meaningless until all of a sudden you have a little 7-pound baby screaming in the corner and you got to figure out what the hell it wants. That realization comes at you quickly, and then you figure that out on the fly.
Have you thought about selling it at this point?
I hear you can get good money, but no, I think we'll keep them.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, I didn't even say mazel tov. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Really, really, really great. So more importantly, since you're my cousin and since I've known you since you were a tiny little tot, do you have any stories about me that won't embarrass the hell out of me?
No, I won't embarrass the hell out of you, but I always associate you with comedy and good humor, and part of the way that I have developed my own sense of humor from being a kid and watching like Ren and Stimpy with you to South Park, and as this stuff's evolved, like that's who you've always been to me, is the fun, goofy cousin with a great sense of humor. And I don't think my mom or our parents quite match that sense of humor that we've always grown up with, but it kind of just makes for it, and that's what I've always associated with you in the back of my mind.
I'll take it. That's absolutely fine by me. Tell me some stories about your dad, Lester Pinkow, who passed. He passed more than a decade ago, I think.
It'll be what year is 2021? It'll be 14 years this month, actually, November 22nd,
Right.
Thanksgiving Eve. But my dad was the greatest, and it's kind of crazy. We're that far out, but I can still hear his voice in the back of my mind. But he was always the guy who can hold court and be in any room and talk to anybody and just kind of lead a conversation, just universally known as a gentleman. But for me, my memories of my dad, it was always, going on the long bike rides with him or watching sports, playing sports, or just, I don't know. I had the benefit of growing up when my father used to commute into the city 5 days a week. And if you remember, when I was about 10 years old, he started his own company and became local. So all of a sudden, Adam and Stephanie, my older brother and sister who grew up, he probably wouldn't have been able to come to their sports events, their this or that. For me, he was at everything. And that to me, I mean, I don't know if I appreciated it as much then. Certainly now when I've been a commuter into the city and I see kind of what that life is, to see how present he was and everything that he was able to do, he was the greatest. I mean, like I said, he was universally known as a gentleman and just taught me everything,
Tell me a funny Lester story.
A funny Lester story. Oh man, I probably should have prepared one off the top of my head. So Aunt Ann, his sister, stayed out with me in August when she had come in, and she kind of reminded me as serious as my father could be, and he was a very successful businessman, and he was just a good guy. He would laugh at the silliest nonsense, and a good fart joke would put him over the edge. So that as successful as somebody could be, or as serious as he might be at times. It was the silly stuff that he would always laugh at and just kind of try to little poke my mom about that kind of stuff. That was Lester Pinkow.
Have you had moments, I mean, again, you're only been a dad for like 12 days, where you find yourself being your dad yet? Or is that going to come when the kid is 2 or 5 or 10 or something like that?
I mean, I'm sure I'll identify it more as I get a little older, but yeah, I've always kind of felt that way because professionally, when I finished college, I went to work for him. And that was the plan initially, is I was going to go work for the family company. So now, while I'm not doing that as my main job, I learned how to be a professional, how to be a man, kind of just observing him that way. So I've always tried to compare myself and see, like, what would my dad do in this situation? but he was always a pretty calm voice of reason when I was growing up. If something went down or if I was upset, he was never the one to panic or start yelling or freaking out about something. So just in that sense, like something's happening with the baby, if he's starting to cry, just trying to maintain the level head that I think he would have had or showed me or told me to do it in that moment. That's kind of where I see it for now. But like I said, when the kid grows older and I have an opportunity to do the things that he did with me, take him on the bike rides or get him interested in my hobbies the way that my father did, that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Truth be
What
told.
are your hobbies, Josh?
Ask Dana and she'll make fun of you. I have endless hobbies. I can't sit still. I love, in the summer, I love to play golf. I'm a big time snowboarder. So in the wintertime, that's my favorite thing to do. I would do that every day for the rest of my life and be the happiest man ever. Yeah, in the pandemic, one of the things I wanted to figure out, I started to learn how to play guitar. So now, I'll strum around and play guitar a little bit. I'm not very good, but it's one of those things that there's no financial incentive to trying to work hard at it. There's no competition. I'm a competitive guy by nature. So, if I'm playing golf and I'm playing with a friend, yeah, I want to have a little match. We talk a little smack and it's fun. And I love that. But sometimes you just need that outlet that's not that, so I'm not seeking financial gain. I'm not seeking competition. I sit there and I suck at guitar, but it's kind of fun and I'm learning and it's something that you strive for,
Now, we've been very phallocentric so far in our conversation. It's only fair to bring in the ladies a little bit. So now you have to be a little more careful because your mom, thank God, Bonnie, is still alive and well.
Yep.
But tell me a Bonnie story. She is my aunt.
Yeah, you might have more than I. I don't know. I really.
Your mom. Wait a minute.
No. But as far as like funny stories, something
or
like
yeah,
that.
or
I don't know. Off the top of my head, funny. I mean, I love my mother to death.
Or heartwarming, or elbow warming, or just a memory. Anything.
Well, honestly, my mom, especially after my father died, was just like a rock for me and for us and what we went through. So just not to be overly like warm and fuzzy about it, but my mom obviously went through a lot and was able to stand pretty strong about it. So I've always respected her for that. And in those years when I had moved back after college and was with her and was working with the family company, like she and I certainly developed a special bond when we were going through that kind of stuff living at home. But I don't know, like I would love to come with a funny story, and I love my mother, but I've never, I always make fun of her that she has no sense of humor, or at least not one that I align with like that.
Not true. That is actually not
true.
No,
not really true. She does have a sense of humor, but like I said, things that you and I might find funny, my mom might get a little offended by in her sensibilities.
That's fair.
I don't think Ren and Stimpy and South Park were ever up her alley.
But she's come to my plays and she seems to have enjoyed them somewhat. So yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And again, my mom's the kind of person that even if your play was something that truly was not her humor, not her style, just to see you up there and succeeding and enjoying yourself doing it, I mean, that's the stuff that makes her the happiest. So, to be a part of being able to support you doing that makes her as happy as anything else. It also helps when your plays are hysterical and we're sitting there laughing organically, like that's all the better.
Orgasmically. I'm saying it was embarrassing to watch her.
Exactly.
My aunt. I was like, stop that. Since I don't think you've ever been on this program before, so let's really dig in. What is your first memory of being alive? Like, do you remember being in the crib? Do you remember being a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old?
No, you know what I do remember is Grandma Lucy's apartment. And I remember like the old carpet at Grandma Lucy's apartment and just like the way her living room was set up. And I mean, who knows how old I really was for that, but I do have young memories of just like being little and futzing around on the floor in Grandma Lucy, or even Aunt Sadie's apartment. I do have some really young memories of like,
Sadie, let's see, Grandma Lucy was my dad's mom, and also your mom's mom.
Yep.
And then Aunt Sadie, now this I never get right. Aunt Sadie was Grandma Lucy's sister.
I'm the worst at the family tree, so.
Oh no, I'm the worst.
No,
okay, no.
It wasn't Sadie Sam's sister?
You're right, of course.
Am I right? I'm really shooting but I
yeah.
think I'm really poor. I don't know if you want to know the truth. And
no, you're right.
She was furious with me that I don't know the answer to that. But yeah.
I love Aunt Sadie. And she had this apartment. She was this great spinster aunt, which is usually code for lesbian, but in this case it's not true. She was just a spinster aunt who had the New York apartment, didn't have any kids, but would treat you and me and Michael and Sheldon and kind of be the great New York aunt, bring you in for a meal, go to a show, go to the cookery and see. I mean, that was her,
Yep. And interestingly, again, you probably have more memories outside of the apartment with Sadie. I mean, I was still pretty young when Aunt Sadie had passed away, but my memories there, we always used her apartment as the central meeting place when we would go into the city to see Michael and everybody, or go a couple times a year. We would go to like the cemetery and see the grandparents, everybody, and bury there. And we would end up going there and getting deli and sitting in her apartment with everybody, with Jody and the whole family.
So let's also talk a bit about your work life and things that you can talk about. Because one of the interesting things for me, and things that I mentioned, was, in my career and being a journalist and doing this, I've talked to a lot of celebrities and I've interviewed them and I know them and so forth. But you constructed deals for like incredibly well-known, famous, mostly sports people to do commercials and to do. So you're not doing that job anymore, but you were. Can you tell me?
I mean, I have a lot of connections in that space, but I basically worked as a sports marketing agent for the better part of a decade, and I loved it. It was an interesting business that I woke up one day kind of frustrated by the efforts I was putting in and some of the benefit that I was getting out at one point. So I just kind of decided there was a change to be made, but certainly one of the cooler stretches of my life, and gone to very cool events. And like I said, put together some marketing deals, some opportunities for athletes, and not just athletes, but notable celebrities, and just a cool thing to be a part of. And you see people
who are like a couple of the most famous people, because you're not in that job anymore, and you can
right.
There's no confidentiality, whatever. So
no, and I mean, nothing that I worked on really would have been held to any confidentiality agreements. Once they're public, these deals are still Googleable now. But the agency that I worked for at the time, I mean, it was big in football, the Olympics, golf. So some of the athletes that the agency rep with, I did some deals with. I mean, Jim Furyk was the biggest golfer that we had rep with. Kerry Walsh Jennings, the volleyball player, Olympic volleyball player, 3-time Olympic gold medalist. You would certainly know her by face.
Or whatever she's wearing playing volleyball, which would be a lot more fun to look at. Yeah.
And then a number of football players: Mark Ingram, Greg Olson, Troy Aikman. Broadcaster now.
Yeah.
We represented him at that company at the time. So it was, like I said,
walk me through this.
Sure.
You some company wants them to represent their product, or they're looking for a company for which they can make millions of dollars. What was a deal that you would give me an example of how this would work?
So let's say that at the time the company was signing on a new athlete, you would start by getting into a decent holistic approach into who this person is, right? What are their interests? What are their hobbies? Because you'll reach out proactively to some of the companies that maybe they incorporate into their daily life, or maybe just makes sense in some capacity. Maybe that company was a sponsor of the college that they went to, and now they use the product. I mean, you try to draw the connection a number of different ways. And then obviously, quite frequently, brands and products and companies are looking to have an ambassador, a face of the company, to help spread some messaging and just really bring a spotlight to whatever they are, whatever they're working on, an event that they might have. So they'll reach out to talent agencies, people of that ilk, to try and come up with an idea. Hey, who do you think would fit our brand? And, we'll put together, or at the time we would have put together a list of people who make sense to, embody their culture, show what this company is all about. And that's the back working of it. And I would say Carrie, and you weren't too familiar with who she was, but Carrie, one of the cooler athletes and really a pretty special person that I had worked with. She is a 3-time Olympic gold medalist in beach volleyball. And for her third gold medal, she was actually 8 weeks pregnant with one of her children, and she was able to win Olympic gold. And she really was this, very hands-on mother, loved motherhood and loved just.
Actually, you know what? It would be much more impressive if she were 8 months pregnant.
Yeah, it sure would.
Oh, no, wait, that's my stomach. Wait.
Yeah,
right.
You'd be surprised though. Women in that first trimester, as I saw with Dana, are physically exhausted. So now to have seen my wife go through pregnancy, and she crushed it. She really was a rock star. And to think back and see that there are Olympians who might be competing when they're pregnant is really kind of freaking incredible. But we would look at something like that and reach out to companies that might make sense to tell a story like that. So there were a couple of opportunities that we had put together that just embrace that health and wellness lifestyle that she embodied, or a couple of kind of motherhood focused deals that might be opportunities to tell a good story about what it is to be a busy working mom or something like that. There's just a lot of that.
Well, let me ask you though. I mean, and I'm just thinking, this is the mind-boggling part. How many zeros? It's like, let's say you make a deal with someone like that. Are we talking literally
Well,
like
that part I'll
7 feet.
leave out. I mean, it depends. Some athletes command a very healthy fee for what they do, and not just athletes, celebrities in general. If you see, a high profile A-tier celebrity in a commercial, they're getting compensated very, very well for that. Some are 7, 8 figures, and some are small deals that are. Oh, you'd be surprised. I mean, if you think about the real cultural icons who are getting some of these opportunities, and I'm talking the real
Right, right.
top end, yeah, they would be commanding some just incredible figures. Most of these deals that we're talking about, that a lot of marketing agents, people who were in the field that I was in, they're working on $50,000 opportunities, 100, and you fill up that bucket doing a lot of that. And then obviously, if you get that superstar who can command the big figures, well, obviously that's what you're
And
looking for. But
did you
it's
get percentage, or were you just paying a salary, or how did
no,
you?
I mean, I had a salary at the company, and then you get percentages of the deals. It was, a normal, not a huge. Don't get
No, no.
too excited. It wasn't that. There's a reason I had left. I'm not unhappy with my time there, but like I said, I decided there was another opportunity out there, a better path for me. That
Well,
I was a little
what are you doing now? What job? By the way, this is my cousin Joshua Pinkow. What do you do now?
So now I work at Wells Fargo, and I sell mortgages at Wells Fargo.
Well, no, so you're not selling houses. You are
No.
making
I help people with their home financing. And while I'd love to expand on that, I'll be very upfront. I actually would have to get proper clearances and everything to promote. No, not that. I mean, I can certainly say that this is what I do for a living, and I'm very happy, and I love working for the team that I'm at Wells and everything. But the best that I can say is that I would have to get some clearances to be able to give more insight into kind of what the mortgage process is or anything like that. But
it's mortgage originations. That was like my first
yeah,
product
absolutely.
in college.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, no, I can actually do them. I helped. I was supporting. I would type in the percentage. It's like back then it was something like 6.84% on mortgages. Now what is it? What is it? 2.6 or something? Or
yeah, I mean, there certainly could be. I mean, rates are still very low in compared to where historical rates used to be. But it's kind of funny to hear people talk about mortgage rates from the yesteryear and say 6 something. I've had people tell me that they had 10% when these things sound like usury now. It's kind of funny.
except of course the houses back then were $30,000.
Right, exactly.
That's the whole difference. Hey, where do you see? I mean, you probably have some sort of insight, or maybe not, into where the housing market is and is going to be in like 6 months. Do you see a crash?
Honestly, no more than anybody else. And I the best guidance that I can give is, if you're in the housing market, talk to a realtor or somebody who is qualified to be able to give you some good quality guidance. Or if you have a mortgage guy you're talking to, make sure they're reputable, and ask the people around you, the people who are qualified to give you that guidance for some good answers. And certainly I try to give people some honest answers, but it's impossible to say. Who would have thought, 2 years ago, that there would have been a global pandemic that would have thrown everything into a tailspin? So it's quite impossible, unfortunately.
Now let me, since we have just a few more minutes with Mike, we're going to ask you to stay for the trivia quiz, but you gave us just a half an hour, so.
Yeah, I might have to run off shortly. I can hear the baby fussing in the other room, and I'll give Dana a hand with the baby and the dog.
Well, I'm assuming Dana has her tits in, so can she bring the can she bring the brat in, and we can see her in it?
I'll shoot her a text. Let me see.
Yeah. I love this. He's in another room in the same house. It's like
I have the dog who can get kind of loud, so I closed the door to my office here, because if the dog started shrieking, your show wouldn't be too.
Now, is the dog with you? Because
no, the dog's in the other room.
The dog is also there too.
And the baby.
Just we need to get. I mean, part of the purpose of having you, much as you've been great to talk to, much as you're a really wonderful speaker and have this presence, we want to see the damn baby. So
yeah, of course. Like I said, we got to see where she is and she's actually able to. So give her a minute. Let's keep talking.
So let's also keep talking. By the way, my cousin Joshua is here. So are you still now commuting to Manhattan, or are you able to work from Long Island now?
Been working home since the beginning of the pandemic. We will be back in an office one day soon, and I'm happy to go in maybe 2 days a week, 3 days a week.
But Wells Fargo is everywhere. Are you? You work here when you?
No, I work in an office in Manhattan traditionally, and then pre-pandemic we were in an office setting. Given what's been going on, I've been home since then, but we will be returning. But
in Manhattan. Why do you have to be in Manhattan? Why can't they put you in a Wells Fargo in the South Shore, Long Island, or something? I don't get.
So the team that I work on is really centered in around Manhattan. So yes, there are Wells Fargo branches and there are mortgage originators and people in my role everywhere. The team that I'm on, the group that I'm in, is centered in and around Manhattan.
Okay. Now, I'm also curious in terms of, how we just got a new mayor of New York City. I don't live in New York. Manhattan. You don't live in Manhattan. But how has New York been? Have you been back to Manhattan since the pandemic for any reason?
So I've been in a couple of times. One night I went in and had dinner with a coworker, which was great, just because we hadn't seen each other and felt like it was nice, and things had kind of eased a little
Yeah.
bit in the summer, able to eat outside, things like that. I have not been in very much, I'll tell you that. I actually went in last year for the first Knicks playoff game when the Knicks were playing the Hawks, and I'm a diehard Knicks fan. So the Knicks were good, and I just got vaccinated, and there was some real enthusiasm. This is actually a good story. I'm trying to think of when exactly the game was, but it would have been last spring. The vaccine was available now for a few months, so you had a real enthusiasm of people being able to go and do things a little more confidently. The Delta variant hadn't really reared its ugly head too much yet. So New York City obviously had been pretty quiet, shut down through this pandemic. The Knicks, I don't know for anybody listening, for you, the Knicks are my favorite team, but for the last 20 years have been just an absolute abomination.
Yeah.
So now you've got this team last year who's
New York Jets. Yeah. Right.
Oh, that too. But the Knicks were great last year, kind of out of nowhere. I mean, they have some good young players, but nobody thought they'd be as good as they were last year. They make the playoffs, and now they're hosting a home playoff series. And that hasn't happened in a long time for this team. So now a buddy of mine gets us tickets. We go to this game, and there was a palpable excitement being in that room in Madison Square Garden. They ended up losing the game, but it almost didn't matter. Like, people were so excited that the Knicks were relevant, and here we are, we're cheering our balls off, and everybody's going crazy. But like the New York
And also,
City,
you got together in a giant room with 50,000.
and interesting, like there was a vaccinated section we were sitting in. You had to show your vaccine passport.
Were you masked all the time, or did you have to mask? Or
you didn't have to if you were in the vaccinated sections. So I think I did wear the mask. I don't even remember. It was the excitement of that night, but it was just this really wild vibe that like New York City is kind of back, and everybody was saying that, oh, the city might never be the same. It was fun. It was a good vibe in there. It was good to see that.
Yeah. No, I've got to say, I've been to New York about 3 times, literally in the past year and a half, and they were all in the past 2 months. And so coming in, I was saying, well, what is New York going to be like? It's New York. With all the stuff that's been thrown at de Blasio and all the stuff about the pandemic, and it's a war zone and it's a third world country. No.
And the residential areas, I still have a lot of friends who live in Manhattan, and in those residential areas, it's bumping. There's a great vibe still. I mean,
it's New York.
New York. It's always going to bounce back.
Now, did you get a text from Dana? Because we've got like a couple of minutes. I want to see the baby, and I've got to bring like people in the Daverhood to play the game here that we do at 10:30.
So the bad news, the baby.
Come on!
The baby's out cold. Hold on.
Okay, fine. Hold it up quietly.
Oh, let's see.
You've got to be kidding me.
Let's see if I can get her.
Because what I might ask is that if you can like log back on between 11:30 and noon or so, if the kid's awake and Dana's dressed or something, we at least get to show it or something. But come on, it's unbelievable.
Well, I'm not getting
go back to sleep.
The quickest answers.
Wait, what, miss?
So I'm not getting the quickest answers, which means she's dealing with him right now. Doesn't have the phone in her hand.
Oh, yeah, no, but she even if it's squalling or doing what babies do, we can show it for a minute.
Hold on, because I don't want to run. Hold on.
This is his premiere. This is his.
He's not ready for prime time yet, I guess.
Good point. Oh boy! All right. Well, it's almost 10:30 in the morning. Let me remind people you're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz. It's our 823rd episode of the show. We're calling it Joshing. Get it? We even have this. Does this ring any kind of bells, Josh?
I was going to point that out. Yeah. So for everybody looking, my wife made those for my 30th birthday, a couple years ago.
Well, how old are you now? You're not 40 yet. You're 30.
No, I think I'll be 35 this month. Yeah.
So that's almost that. That's kind of the middle. Do you feel middle-aged or with all your sports stuff? Not at all, or?
I mean, I feel pretty good. I try to stay pretty fit, and Dana and I eat pretty well. But I'd like to be a little younger to be sure. But 35 feels good, right?
Yeah, knock wood.
Could be worse.
Do you have a picture of the baby? Can you hold up a picture of the baby?
I certainly do. I probably have too many pictures of the baby.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Hold on. I do have too many.
All your colleagues, when you go back to work, is like, here, let me show you this one. Let me show you this one. Let me show you this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
too many. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that. That's me.
Oh!
Yep. Come in. Hold on one second.
Oh boy! Oh boy! This is exciting. The absolute debut of my new cousin, Luke Foster Pinkow. Gonna be coming onto camera in just a moment. Oh my God!
Big boy. Can you? Let's see. You got to look at the
I
camera.
love how you saved the reveal for the very last minute. Look how adorable.
Hold on.
Okay, I'll be quiet. Not that I can do that very well.
Buddy.
Hold it quiet.
Say hi. Say hi.
Hey, Luke. Hey, Luke. You're a little baby. Yes, you are. little baby potato wants to say hello. Hello.
Buddy.
And his eyes are open. I thought they didn't have open eyes for a long time. I think they're blind.
Let me tell you, he that first night literally had the ability to like look around the room, almost look like he was scanning the room. And they can't see much at first, which now I'm starting to learn more about what they can and can't see, and the shapes, colors, or shades rather.
Yeah.
But his eyes were pretty focused and attentive, pretty much out of the gate. It was really interesting.
So hold him up one more time, and let's welcome to the Daverhood our circumcised friend Luke Foster Pinkow. Have you weighed him since? Is he like 8 something now, or how?
So we've been back to the pediatrician once, and they weighed him again, and he was at least back to his birth weight then, which is, I think it was probably 5 or 6 days after he was born. So he's eating like a champ, eating, pooping, farting in our faces. It's great.
Yes. He does belong in the Daverhood. If he's eating
exactly,
he belongs in the Daverhood. Josh, I'm sorry Dana doesn't want to be on camera, but that's okay. Wish her our love. Mazel tov, as Rabbi
Thank you very much.
Say. Congratulations. Do not be, once this pandemic really is over, we'll get to see the baby in person. God
exactly. So, buddy, say goodbye. Boop.
Bye from the Daverhood. and we have a new viewer because we're going to get more viewers. We have it, yes. So every Saturday.
Exactly right.
Instead of cartoons, watch this.
All right, we'll talk, Dave. Take care.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All health and all good things. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
My cousin Joshua, ladies and gentlemen, on Dave's Gone By here on this Saturday morning. It is November 6, 2021. Oh, I got to admit a couple of people into the Daverhood to play the game. And also, let's see how they make it in. I'm not seeing, I wonder if David Sheward is. Let's see. Well, I see Vicki Quade coming in. Okay, and David just texted that he'll be right there. So Vicky's connecting, and Leslie is connecting to play our weekly game. Look, you're all here, and thank you, by the way, for trying to get on a couple of minutes early. I was on with my cousin and his brand new. Actually, the kid is 12 days old. He's not that new, but he's a relatively new father. He's very cute. He held him up in the camera. Hello, folks. How are you guys?
Good.
I think 12 days is still pretty new.
Relative. It's not like a brand new. It's already been circumcised.
It's still within warranty, though. It's still within the warranty.
That's right. They can still send it back if they need to. How are you guys doing?
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Why are there only the female? Why is it only the female side, the distaff side, as it were? What's going on?
Because we're the better ones,
Well, yes, that too. I
got
your
a text
background.
from David who's saying he'll, quote, be right there.
You put up the best backgrounds, Vicki. And
I look for them, too.
And you've got it down so that you actually look right in them. You don't.
I know.
You no longer have.
Really
How did you figure it out?
I had a friend who used to do this, and I did a lot of Zooms early on in the pandemic, especially performing for different organizations. Right. And I would always use my background, my living room or my study.
Right.
And And then I noticed this friend of mine used these kinds of backgrounds, and I thought, oh, it's so much better.
Yes, but how do you
I've
keep
seen-
it from like
Right,
your
that's-
arm disappears into the woods and then
It
you
does. It can, especially if I
Yeah,
back up.
but the you part of it, no, it's still good.
Yeah,
You
no,
got
no,
it so
no.
that there's no outline against you of it. When your cousins did it, when the Shoves did it,
the
they
shoes,
always,
yeah.
Shoves, they always got sort of, they faded out,
Yeah,
so.
if he would move this way, half his face would go into
Right.
the background. It's like
Right. I'll
it's
stick
aliens.
with my headboard and my lamp and my, and my mirror. My
No,
mother's
you're framed.
mirror. I'll
But
stick
actually,
with
Leslie,
that.
if you really want to be framed, since you were telling me that I need to reframe.
Yes,
on your
okay,
show,
yes.
can you tilt the camera just a little so that your should be a
In the
little
middle.
bit
There.
there.
Is that what you want?
Whoa,
Okay.
wait, whoa, hey,
I wasn't
there
paying
you go.
attention.
There. Now,
I'm so good at telling other people how to do it. I don't pay attention to it on myself.
Well, no, because Leslie was pointing out I was on her show that she does with Charlie Gross called Critics Circle, and they interviewed, I debated Charlie about the Broadway show, The Lehman Trilogy, and so, we actually both agreed on it. Didn't really debate, but I had to do it for my office. It was a work day, and so you just see all this back stuff behind me and computer equipment and school equipment and a door, and it's just, I didn't think it was too bad. I should have worn a dark shirt actually, but Leslie's saying no, it's so distracting. You need a very different, a simple, better background. So
We'll get one. We'll come up early when you come up again. By the way, what you did was review. You didn't you didn't dispute it, or whatever. I mean, you both reviewed it and you both liked it. And I'm ready to cry that I can't see it. I mean, there are certain shows that are going to end before I'm able to get before February, unless it gets extended. And I understand it's not possible because the actors have commitments, et cetera, et cetera. So there are certain shows that have early closings, and I'm going to miss each and every one.
Well, the thing is, Leslie, even if you wait until March or April, you'll come in right at the spring season. So all those openings of a normal spring.
But that show won't be here. That show closes in January.
Well, you missed Passover. That closed in September, and my goodness.
God bless you. I thought that was a comment. I wasn't sure what the hell that was. No, but the thing is, with Passover, to be honest, I didn't mind that much.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That wasn't high on my list of things. But Lehman Trilogy, it was on my list in March of 2020. That was high on my list of things to see, And also Carolina Change, which is going to happen the same way. It's going to close before I get to see it.
Are they closing that in January? They're not going to do an open run on that because the reviews were really terrific.
Maybe you're right. Maybe they can do an open run. Maybe Sharon doesn't have. I don't know what Sharon's contract. Sharon Clark. I don't know what her contract is. I just know that I thought it had an early closing date. I mean, not earlier than it was scheduled to run, but I don't know, Charlie. I don't know, David. I was calling Charlie David the other day. It's like having a bunch of children and not knowing all their names.
Yeah.
Right.
What's up, Joyce?
So there was the Travis Scott concert in Houston in 2009. 3 people were killed, like trampled.
Yeah.
Now 8 people were like squished to the stage, and they had like cardiac arrests and it's
those Texans.
Where?
And it's Travis Scott.
Yeah, in Houston.
Houston, yeah.
It's Travis Scott again is doing that?
The same guy?
Yeah, he's a non-violent, like he's a pretty, I don't know what happened.
Hey, look, he's a cute guy. All the women are crushing on him.
No.
So, dang it, that's
but
all.
if it happened in 2019 and 3 people got whatever, and it happened again this year with another festival, like people jumped the fence, why don't you just get more security?
Yeah, or let fewer people in.
Get the Hells Angels back from the days of the Rolling Stones. They did a good job.
Sure.
They rushed.
That's not a joke. They kill somebody.
Then they'll be killed in a different way.
Yeah.
That's right.
But you know what kind of music he's going to be making now? Mashups.
God, David, you're so.
And interestingly enough, as soon as they take away our gun control here in New York, I'll be able to pack heat. How about that?
Oh my God.
Just what I've always wanted.
Okay. I need to
carry. Where's David?
Hey, he's saying, can you email me the link again? I'm having trouble getting. So David Sheward is trying to join us.
Yeah, email him the link.
I don't even know if I have. Last time I
Leslie,
emailed
did
him.
you send him a fictitious link?
Well, that's one way of letting the rest of us have a chance. Thank you.
We're going to do it today, Leslie.
We're going to do it today.
I'm hoping I have a good email for him. Let's see.
I'm using a January 9th link. I can't find anything newer because you kept saying use the same link.
It's been the same. I'm going to try to forgive me for you talk amongst yourselves. I literally
So how have your audiences been, Vicki? I'm curious.
They're growing. They really are growing, which is good. More people are coming out. They're still small, but we definitely see the trend up, which is
And
great.
your capacity is what?
Oh, I have a small capacity because
well, your sex life is none of my business, but you know.
No. I'm in a real
You
small
walked right
space.
into that one. I'm
But
sorry.
I
Vicki.
Certainly did, yes.
But Leslie, I was going to say, I was listening to. I went online and I was listening to some of your older, your podcasts, and I saw that you interviewed Jessica Scher, and she's a friend of mine.
We did that after David. I was so impressed with her when we saw her on David. I
love
if
her
it's
show.
mine.
Yeah.
Did you say she
David
was?
show, yeah.
She's a friend of the Daverhood. Did you say she's a family member?
No, she's a friend of mine from. I met her. I started to meet her at the Arts Midwest conferences, and
Well,
I just liked her
David
so much.
interviewed her first.
Yeah.
David had an interview with her first, and then she played the game. And
But I
it's
love the
interesting
small
because,
world aspect of all this. The kind of wow.
by the way, David, I would like to recommend someone to you. Do you know Alex Rowe at the Metropolitan Playhouse? Have you ever
I've
interviewed
seen
him?
the name on press releases for like 15 years.
That's the little engine that could. That's a small theater on East 4th Street that's been going for the last 20 years. And I'm very impressed. I knew Alex back in San Francisco. I mean, but he was an actor. He came to New York. He became an actor, producer, manager, the whole thing. He runs the whole thing. And this month they're doing Radium Girls, which is about there was a documentary, a movie, and now a play about the girls who licked the points of their paintbrushes to paint light on iridescent light on their on watch faces. Watch face, right? And another play I'm going to miss, but I'm hoping he'll be able to zoom it. Hey, David.
Hello, David Sheward. Yeah. So
if I may, take a look at his site, Metropolitan Playhouse. He was king of the Zoom for a while. He came up with some very interesting ways of putting shows on during the pandemic. He and the Irish rep, I thought, did among the best jobs of doing that.
Hi,
David. What happened? It was the same link that we always use. What happened?
Yeah, but I had saved it in my. I have a separate folder called Important Stuff, and the link was from January, and for some reason, my computer was not letting me go back more than a certain number. So I was frantically deleting emails.
Oh, you've got too much stuff in there.
Yeah, and
you don't need a mask for the show. We're all vaccinated. It's okay.
I have my cleaning person is here.
Okay.
So it's in the other room.
I thought maybe you were going to do Aaron Rodgers on us and tell us you're taking ivermectin or whatever that's called.
In any event. So
what an ass! What a pompous ass! I liked him on Jeopardy. I really did.
He was great on Jeopardy.
Aaron Rodgers.
But he is a.
He was the host on Jeopardy.
He was, and he did a really good job
on Jeopardy.
Oh,
I was very impressed with him.
He was the one who also guest starred on the Conners that time.
I don't know about that.
Might have been. I don't remember. Yeah, you're probably right, but I don't remember.
There was an episode of the Conners where Laurie Metcalf is a contestant of Jeopardy, and she makes an ass of herself.
Oh wow!
Oh,
you would been.
Yes, probably was. Yes.
So she still does that show. She's still on that show.
I haven't been following. What did Aaron Rodgers say? What was I really have not.
He hasn't been vaccinated. He's been lying about it.
What he said was, they said, no. Here's the thing, Dave. They said to him, "Are you vaccinated?" And he said, "I'm immunized."
Right.
And everybody took that to mean that he was vaccinated. And what he's been taking is some sort of homeopathic thing and ivermectin or whatever that's called.
The horse medicine.
It's not actual horse medicine. But okay,
he has no worms, but he got COVID.
Oh man. Well, he thinks he's been immunized. He didn't lie. He's just been
But at least he didn't
prevaricating.
have a fake
Oh no! He lied. He outright lied. He said, "I don't have to get that. I'm not putting that in my body." He went. Oh, did he?
That's
went the
not a
whole
lie.
week.
He's telling you the truth. He's saying he's not going to put that
He
in his body.
sidestepped. He did not answer truthfully. He is not vaccinated.
by omission.
See,
No,
Chris is saying
no,
something-
it's willful. No. You see, and I don't know if he's Catholic, but the point is, it's willful bending of the truth. It is not.
Willful.
If it's not lying, it's sure as hell bending.
He was
I mean, he went in the
willful.
side door. You know?
Willful deception. Anyway,
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
He worked for. Did you? I'm curious, and we'll get to. I promise we'll get to the quiz. But David Sheward, you teach in a high school, right? In a high school.
that's
system.
right. That's
Did
right.
you lose, and it's in a state school. Did you lose any teachers because of the mandate?
No.
Everybody just they got vaxxed, right? Or
Yeah.
or is anybody not vaxxed but they take the test every 2 weeks? Is that part of the mandate?
I don't know.
I'm just curious.
That's
Okay.
HIPAA. You won't know.
Well, not names. I'm just saying. I was kind of.
I don't know.
You
I
won't
don't
know
know.
in your unit, yeah.
Anywho, all right. Let's get. I thought I'd get some comedy out of that, but I didn't. Okay, let's do some gaming, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, by the way, all of you, as always. I should mention I didn't even really give you a proper introduction. Vicki Quade is the co-creator of Late Night Catechism and the creator. Well, I guess Holy Ghost Bingo is done,
The
but
Christmas bingo's coming up
starting when?
the day after Thanksgiving.
So it's a few
Do a
weeks.
6-week run.
So right now,
Nobody else is waiting, Vicky. Why are you waiting? They've got Santa Clauses in the mall right now.
Yeah.
Why are you waiting?
I know because I wait until the Macy's Day Parade when Santa Claus is at the very end of the parade, and that tells you that Christmas
See,
is
you
beginning.
say what other people do. It's not the Macy's Day Parade. It's the Thanksgiving Day Parade. It's
Oh, wow.
Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Macy's
Thank you,
doesn't have
Les.
a day. No, it's okay. It's just, it irritates me when I hear it. Not because of you doing it, but just in general. Macy's does not own November 25th. They don't.
I just
They
wish
try.
Piggly Wiggly did. Wouldn't it? That's what I want, a Piggly Wiggly Thanksgiving parade. That would be a beautiful thing, I think.
I was in the Macy's parade when I was was I in high school or first year college? I had a job at Macy's. It was probably first year college.
Were you
I had
on a
job at
float?
Macy's. No, I was roller skating in the street. We wore little short skirts and we followed the Shriners, and we were in the cheerleading.
Didn't the Shriners want to follow you guys? Like,
No, the Shriners walked in front of us, and there were about 16 of us, and long-legged short skirts, and it was freezing. It was
Of
probably
course.
like 25 degrees. And the Shriners were happy because they had little bottles. They had flasks. That's how they were keeping warm. And we had nothing. We had little tiny skirts, and my skate came off, and I had to go to the side of the street, and a horse kicked me. A cop horse kicked me.
What happened?
a horse.
Sorry to laugh, Leslie.
Did you
Oh,
recover?
it's funny now. I made so
you
much
recover?
noise dragging the skate behind me. They were those little, key skates. They were not like lace-up skates.
How did a horse kick you?
Because the cop was there, and I went and when I was heading toward the sidewalk, the skate was making all this noise because I was dragging it behind me. My skate came off.
Right.
And so there was a lot of noise, and the horse got skittish, and it kicked me its back leg right in my knee. And it was so
dear.
cold, I didn't feel it. It got swollen, but I didn't feel it. And we skated from 77th Street down to 34th Street.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
a long way.
That's a long way.
And so, because that's where the parade starts at 77th Street. And I skated the whole time, and I didn't feel my knee, and everything was fine. And I got on the subway. I was living in Forest Hills at the time, and I got on the subway to go home. And suddenly the pain was excruciating. I couldn't stand up
Oh my.
because it warmed up, and Macy's would not give me a few days off because they were horrible people to work for.
Wow.
End of my Macy's story. I loved being in the parade. I have to tell you, it was a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Leslie, have you're a writer. Have you thought about taking some of the, you've been on To Tell the Truth. You have stories that are worth,
No, they're anecdotes. They're not stories. They're anecdotes. You
Well,
can't
that's
write a
pretty
book of
friggin'
anecdotes.
anecdote.
You can do a blog.
Well,
Yeah.
things I've done in my long life. Is that
Yes.
Yeah.
You've
Blog.
directed shows. You've
And then I
acted.
wrote.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening and being interested. I consider these cocktail hour stories, except it's coffee time, But these are things I tell my friends.
They have a little David Sedaris aspect to it. I mean, you really could write them up.
Well, thank you. That's very.
And I'm sure
that's
all
nice
of you
all to think that I have that writing ability. I don't know if I can write anymore. I haven't written in a long time.
Oh, well. By the way, I promise we will get to the quiz. Leslie, is there a place to read all the reviews that you wrote for like the past 30 years?
There's a place for my interviews with Theater Mania. My original interviews were obviously pre internet, and nobody bothered to put them in. But Theater Mania kept everything that I did for them, and Backstage has most of what I wrote. Because
Backstage, so you can search Backstage and it would be there.
Yeah, but they're not reviews. They're articles and they're interviews for the most part.
Well, fine, so that too, and of course, I want to say that David Sheward, his writing, he's still writing.
David was my editor at Backstage, by the way. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So you can Google or search back. Yes, and David Sheward, go to theaterlife.com, culturaldaily.com, as well as his blog, The David Desk.
For him.
And of course, Vicki has written a book. Now hold it up. Vicki has written the book, Close Encounters of a Chicago Kind, all about life in, not just theater, but life in Chicago.
These are two of my kids right here.
Oh.
You can't really see.
Now it's blanking out, but
I see they're feeling blue. Cool. Yeah, there you go.
No, they're in blue. That's right. Yeah. Right. These are my daughters.
That's wonderful. So you guys have books. See, I never wrote a book.
But you could do a book. You have great stories. All right.
We'll talk. We'll text each other and talk.
Now you guys all know how we play the Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. Nearly all of the questions have to do with things that occurred on this date in history. It's November 6, 2021. So whatever happened in these questions.
By the way, happy Guy Fawkes Day. That was yesterday.
Wow. Oh, save a penny for the old guy.
Is that
right?
Yeah, Guy Fawkes. Yeah.
I'm just playing Fawkes. Yeah. Sorry.
It's a British holiday.
David, this is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but a whimper.
Is that Guy Fawkes also?
No, that's T.S. Eliot.
Oh, okay. I have no idea about history at all. And yet I'm doing a history quiz. 2 points apiece is what the questions are worth. If you get it right, if you get it wrong, another contestant gets the chance to steal. So,
like a Dr. Sue part of it.
There you go. Let's first I can get my roll of die over here. It is. So, at this point, Vicki, you've been doing this so often, you're not necessarily new anymore.
Oh, that's right.
I think I can roll a die to figure out who does the die roll, but give us a number between 1 and 6.
For me?
Yeah.
I'll take 2.
Vicki with 2. Leslie, your number, please. Is it boxcars?
I'll stay with 6. Boxcars.
And Mr. Sheward?
3. 3.
David with 3. Okay.
Oh, you have snake eyes, and I have boxcars. That's and 3 is just.
That's rather personal.
3 is just.
Excuse me.
It's a number 1.
Dare you?
Number 1 is closest to Vicki. Vicki, do you want to go first, second, or third?
I'll go first.
Whoa! I'm gonna roll a die again. And the die comes up, number 4, which is closest to David. So, David, would you rather go second or third? Second. David Sheward second. And Leslie, you bring up the rear, although your sex life is none of my business. And so it's Vicki, David, and Leslie doing the Today, Yesterday trivia. Shameful. Are you ready?
I have so many things. I'm not going to do any of them. It's okay. I'm done.
Vicki Quade, are you ready for the first question in our quiz?
I am.
The year was 1528.
Oh, good Lord.
Shipwrecked today off the island of Galveston is Spanish explorer Alvar Núñez Cabeza de Vaca. Old Cowhead is the first person from the Old World to set foot in what would become Texas. He also became a healer and an anthropologist in terms of documenting various native tribes. He was satirized and immortalized in a routine called The Gasser by what comedian?
The Gasser?
It's a multiple choice. A, Lenny Bruce. B, Jonathan Winters. C, Godfrey Cambridge. Or D, Lord Buckley?
Oh, boy.
He was called the gasser?
Well, his name was Alvar Núñez Cabeza de Vaca.
But where does gas come from?
That's the name of the routine about this particular explorer.
I guess.
I'm going to say Jonathan Winters.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
It's chilly in here. It's wintry in here. But that is not the correct answer, I'm afraid, Vicki. So I'm going to roll the die and give one of our people a chance to steal. So it came up number 6, which is Leslie's direct
Excellent.
number. Leslie.
The only one that makes sense to me is Lord Buckley. My brother was a big Lord Buckley fan. I never got really into that, but I'll say Lord Buckley. Only because the other two guys were not history buffs that I know of. Neither Godfrey Cambridge nor Lenny Bruce did history-based stories, that I know of.
No. So are you going with, what was it, Lord
I'm
Buckley?
going with Lord Buckley.
It's a great name.
Oh, Lord. You're correct. That is, in fact,
Oh.
the right answer, Leslie Hoban Blake.
He
You got
suckered
2
me again.
points
He
to the board.
suckered me yet again. Okay.
Well done.
Explain it.
Well, it was a routine that Lord Buckley did from his 1959 album, So You Thought Hip was new, and it was, he called the guy Cabenza de Gasca.
Yeah,
the
but
actual
what's it? It has nothing to
He did a routine. What Lord Buckley would do in weird hip language. I never got into him either.
Okay.
Quite honest. I know Richmond Shepard actually did a whole show about him. I just
Yeah,
never,
I know. I never got that either.
And
not my thing.
Flip Wilson did a routine about Christopher Columbus. So
Oh,
Yeah.
did he? But he wasn't one of the choices, so it didn't matter.
no, but
Oh, I
I
shouldn't.
mean, other comedians did explorers.
I know, and Colin Quinn does it all the time, but I just,
There you
it
go.
wasn't the most popular kind of thing.
So, all right, but
Okay.
here's the deal. Leslie, congratulations. You have
I
2
think David wants a point.
points on the.
No.
Believe me, David
No,
will
I
get.
don't. I'm no Dr. Sue. Just adding information.
David is not thirsty. David is a good guy.
But here's the deal. David could get 2 points by answering this question correctly. Are you ready, Scott?
Yes.
Okay, November 6th, 1850. Honolulu Company Number 1 and Mechanic Engine Company Number 2. You can always spell number 2 coming down the road. Hawaii's first fire brigades were organized today. King Kamehameha officially established them before the end of the year. Which of these is true about the first fire they put out? A, it was an intentional small fire set by the king to show the value of having a fire department, only it got out of hand and burned down 3 houses. B, they got to the fire and put it out, only to learn that they put out a different fire on the way to the one they originally were going to. C, the firemen accidentally connected their pipe to a cesspool instead of a well.
God.
D, 4 firemen showed up to the fire, but locals came to help put it out, and 5 more ended up joining the company on the spot.
Wow.
All of those sound obscure and stupid and silly enough to be true. But the first one sounded the most plausible, which was that the king said it and it got out of control. That just strikes me as I'll go with A.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Come on, David, light my fire. But you're incorrect. So that is not the answer, I'm afraid. So we have a steal opportunity for either Leslie or for Vicki. And the die roll comes up numero 3, which is David's number, but it's closer to Vicki. So,
Okay.
Vicki?
Okay, so it's the cess.
Yeah, I'll read them again.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
remaining ones are what this actually happened when they tried to put out the first fire. B,
Right.
they got to the fire and put it out, only to learn that they put out a different fire on the way to the one they were originally going to. C, the firemen accidentally connected their pipe to a cesspool instead of a well. D, 4 firemen showed up to the fire, but locals helped to put it out, and 5 more ended up joining the company on the spot.
Yeah, the cesspool one is so weird. I'm going to go with that.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Yes, and cess. That is the correct answer. They hooked it up to a cesspool and started putting out the fire with, oh yeah. Well done, Vicki. That really actually did happen. Because it was hard to tell the difference, honestly, back then of a fire, I don't know, of a well in a cesspool back in whatever it was, 1850. So good job. We have a tie game between Vicki and Leslie with 2 points each. But David, you're so not out of it. However, Leslie can get 2 points here and take the lead. Are you ready, Leslie? We have
that was yes.
It was cess. 3 clues in the news. You know how this
Oh, okay.
So it's 3 words not connected to each other, but connected to another word. So it could be blank word or word blank and so forth. Are you ready?
Try it.
Bread, pocket, steak.
Oh, I know what it is. I got it.
So quiet.
I'm just thinking. I'm thinking. Geez. I don't have any idea. The first word that came to mind was slice, but I don't know. Sliced steak would work. Sliced bread. But what was the second one?
Okay, the words are bread, pocket, steak.
Pocket box, bread box, steak box. I'll go with slice. I don't have a better guess.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, sure. You think I'm going to change it because you say that? I'm not going to change it. I have nothing else on my mind.
Make sure.
Well, no, that is not the correct answer, Leslie.
Okay.
So we're gonna throw this open to one of our other contestants.
And you guys wanted it. Last week it wasn't here and everybody wanted it, so David brought it back.
Yeah. Well, that's because I wanted it. Doesn't mean I know how to do it.
Well,
that's what you said last night.
Oh!
But this morning.
So here's the deal, Vicki. The die rolled a number 1, so that is closest to your number 2.
Oh, man.
I already made number 2. So
I am thinking, and I'm like Leslie. I am just blank on this. But I can see David working out words. So it's like, okay, steak, rare steak.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
And don't overthink it, right? Wooden steak, wooden pocket, wooden bread, wooden. There's no wooden bread.
Pinocchio might like wooden bread.
And Pinocchio knows. So, yeah.
That's right. So bread, they're all tough. Bread, day old bread, day old pocket, day old steak. Don't eat a day old steak.
Actually, I've eaten day old steak millions of times. It's fine. Yeah.
As long as they're cooked. Yeah, exactly. Steak. And what I'm thinking, steak meaning the steak you eat, but it could be a stake in the ground.
Don't overthink it, Vicki. Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it. All right. Don't overthink it. How about what did Biden accomplish today or yesterday? The vote. The infrastructure, but stake infrastructure. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna say infrastructure.
It's a meaty deal. Yeah.
Bread infrastructure. I don't know. I'm gonna say infrastructure.
I'm just gonna have that as your final answer when you're doing that because that's so good. No, that's an improperly structured answer. No. David Sheward, you seem to be sort of smiling. So,
can I get help from Richard Dawson?
He'll kiss you. That's about it.
Well, I'd like Brett and then Richard and then Charles. All right. I'll say. And I'd like an infrastructure sandwich. The only thing I can think of is sandwich because.
Oh my goodness, you guys!
Except for pocket, I mean it fits steak and it fits bread, but I don't know what the pocket is. So I'm gonna say sandwich.
And is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Well, that is the question.
All right, ask your lovely wife. Ask your lovely wife to tell us the answer.
She did know.
seems
She
to know
did
the answer.
get it. So the words are bread, pocket, steak.
Knife. Knife.
Oh,
Not-
yes, yes,
Oh.
of course.
What
Right.
night is in the news?
Well,
Nice.
it was a few days ago, but last Sunday, a man in Tokyo dressed as the Joker stabbed 12 people and then tried to set fire to a train car.
Oh,
I mean, hear about
I
this?
know that.
I didn't hear about this.
I saw
There's
that
so
news,
much
yeah.
of this we don't even hear about it anymore. Jesus.
Well, this is
I
it
didn't-
wasn't a gun thing. It was just like stabbity. You know,
Oh God.
he was making homemade
You're
sushi.
trying to tell us that means gun control doesn't work? Is that the idea? What?
Well, we need knife control. Yeah,
Right.
Well, we need
You need human being control is what you
mental
need.
health care, yeah.
Better treatment for people with mental
but
health.
this wasn't even in America. This was like a train in Tokyo,
Globally.
and they
They-
packed
Wow.
those trains so tight. You know, if you go like this, you've stabbed 4 people. You know,
Yeah.
so
Did anyone die?
I don't think so. I think they all lived, but
I
they
hope
were
not.
stabbed.
That's just terrible.
But it kills me that you were so clear. You had Slice, and I thought, oh, for sure. Yeah, you know, yeah.
Well, had I followed through on the thought, no, it never even occurred to me. It was not even. Just couldn't do it.
But it was a fair
good on
question.
you,
I think
Joyce.
that was a reasonable.
Good on you,
well,
Joyce.
So anyway, here's the deal. We finished our round 1 of our Today Yesterday quiz with Vicki and Leslie in the co-lead with 2 points, and David Sheward not yet on the board, but that could all change with round 2. Remember that this is the Today Yesterday quiz. These things happened on November 6th in history. Vicki gets the first question of our round 2. It's a multiple choice.
Right.
Vicki, are you ready?
I am.
David's not ready.
I'm
Wake
ready.
up, David.
He's
I'm
ready.
ready.
Just yawn for a minute. 1860 was the year, Vicki.
Oh,
America holds its 19th presidential election with Abraham Lincoln becoming the 16th president of the United States. In his honor, which of these is not true about pennies?
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Pennies.
Pennies.
A,
Penny.
if you bury a penny in your garden, it will keep the slugs away. B, if you spin a penny, there's an 80% chance it will come up tails. C, the Abraham Lincoln design for the penny was created by a Greek immigrant who'd only been in the U.S. for 3 years when he got the commission. Or D, before E pluribus unum, the penny's first slogan was "Mind your business."
What, false or true?
Okay, all
but
of
not, but not read with that particular intonation. I don't think.
Yeah.
all of these
business.
are true except one. All of these are true except
The
one.
false one.
Okay.
I know the false one.
Did you know that to celebrate the inauguration,
What?
Yeah,
What
right.
happened?
Oh, I don't know. Dave left.
do you know that to
David,
celebrate the
something you
inauguration,
said?
Okay, I'm
What-
Go ahead,
Come
Dave.
back, come
Go
back.
ahead.
you know, to
You know-
celebrate the inauguration, Lincoln and his cabinet went to a strip club, and you know who the headliner was?
Oh God.
No, who?
Free to slaves.
Oh my Lord. Oh my, Mr. David Body.
Not
You're
touching
canceled.
that one, David. Not touching that one. No.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so
No,
racist.
no.
No, it
We
wasn't.
need your lawyer to craft an apology for the
that was a,
show.
Yes,
word
yes.
play.
There.
That was word
Yeah,
Going
play.
to
before
say
you get
the-
canceled, David, get.
That
Now,
was
I'm
David-
going to say the immigrant. The immigrant answer.
Cardi B.
It's right to say no, it was Cardi B. Was the actual stripper. that-
Vicky is actually trying to answer the question.
Yes,
Dave,
Let her
way to
better
get us
answer.
off of this.
the Greek immigrant.
All right. No, the immigrant. I'll do that one.
The immigrant is not true, is what you're saying.
That's what she said last night.
That's not even dirty, sexy. What? I don't even know what that is. Okay.
David just says
She
that
said the
everyone's-
immigrant, I'll do that one.
Oh, I'll do that. Okay, I missed that. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for picking up on the dirty jokes that I'm not making. I better come on, wake
Your
up, Dave.
house upside down, honey.
So here's the deal, Vicki Quade. You've got the lead because that is the correct answer. All the others are true. What happened was the penny was designed by Victor David Brenner, a Jewish immigrant from Lithuania. So he wasn't a Greek, and he'd been in the country a lot longer.
Oh, that's the one that's not true. Okay.
Here's the deal.
But that slogan was true?
The slogan
Mind
was,
your own
it was
business.
Benjamin Franklin when he.
No, it's because it's not that. It's mind your business. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Take care of your business. But the way David read it, that's what I was saying.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Like I do on
That's
the toilet every morning. I take care of my bed.
Jeez,
But
David.
here's the deal: because there's the zinc with a copper coating on a penny gives slugs a shock.
Really?
If you put it in the ground, it keeps the sluggies away from your garden. And
In a garden, I knew that one. My mother always did that out when we were outside. My mother always did that.
whoa. And also, I had no idea about this. Not if you flip it, but if you spin a penny, because Lincoln's head is coming out, and it's heavier on one side, it's an 80% chance that
I thought there was always a
down.
50-50 chance in any game of chance. Am
I
I?
don't know.
Leslie, me too, but that's because I do statistics, but I think it's when you flip it. The flipping is
Oh, I see. But
Right.
you're saying
The
because it's
spinning
heavier
is-
on the side with the
Yeah.
heavier
With the
on the side
face.
with the head, it will fall on the head.
So the
Okay,
head will
that
fall
makes
down
sense.
and it's going to come up.
That makes sense.
Tails.
That's
So
a
anyway,
good trick.
Vicki Quade leading the game, 4 points to 2-0. However, David Sheward can get on the board with this
Okay.
question. David Sheward, are you ready
Come on, David.
for multiple
Yes.
choice? Here we go.
Yes, I'm ready.
The year was 1956. Dwight Eisenhower defeats Adlai Stevenson to be reelected 34th President of the United States. This question, by the way, this comes from peoplequiz.com. Which of the following political quotes was not made by Adlai Stevenson?
Not made by Adelaide.
Not made by, made by somebody else. A, change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future.
Lord.
B, let's talk sense to the American people. Let us tell them the truth, that there are no gains without pains. C, patriotism is not a short and frenzied outburst of emotion, but the tranquil and steady dedication of a lifetime. Or D, in America, any boy may become president, and I suppose it's just one of the risks he takes.
Oh, wow, that could be anything.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
this is-
the first three are so dull.
well,
Well, David, I'm
That's
surprised
why
you're
you
not
lost.
doing the ABCD.
Yeah, that's
we've
fine.
only had 3 things so far. We've got a D and a C, and I lost track a while back.
I will tell you, the last one was a C, just
Okay.
so you know.
Well, we've had 3 so far because
Yeah.
there was the thing. So
Yeah, so you've had 2 C's and 1 D if you're
two
keeping
C's and a
score.
D. So, all right,
And Joyce and I are doing B and D later, just for fun. So
What?
yeah, I don't even know.
Oh, I don't want to imagine that.
National Bison Day today.
National Bison Day?
Yes.
No, I have a beef with them. No,
Oh,
sorry.
oh,
because there's so much at stake.
Stay
oh, oh, Mr. Peabody. All right, let's see. All right, so
whiplash here.
I'm going to say D.
You're going to say D in America.
About
boy.
any boy can become president. I suppose that's one of the things that can happen to him, or something like that.
So you're saying that is not
That is
by
Yeah.
Adam Stevenson.
okay. Yeah.
Well, any boy can become president, but anybody can also get that question wrong, which you did.
Okay.
I'm sorry, David Sheward. We have a steal opportunity here. Let's roll that die. And that comes up a number 5, which is closest to Leslie. Leslie.
So the one of those choices that had even the slightest sense of humor was not Adlai Stevenson. We're
It
looking for
was.
what.
It was. We're looking.
It was
for
Adlai Stevenson.
Oh, we're looking for what wasn't Adlai
Yeah,
Stevenson.
what was
One
not.
of the
Those are the
remaining
most
was
boring
not
quotes.
by Adlai Stevenson. The funny
those
one
are the most
was-
boring quotes, except for that one. And I thought, my God, that's why he lost, because he really was an egghead. That was what people
Yeah.
accused him of being, was an egghead. All right, you're going to have to do them again. I'm
Sure,
sorry. They were so
absolutely.
fast. And there's nothing to hold on to. They were
all
so
of these are by
many words.
Adlai Stevenson, except one.
That
One of
one.
these three.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
A, change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future. B, let's talk sense to the American people. Let us tell them the truth. There are no gains without pains. Or C, patriotism is not a short and frenzied outburst of emotion, but the tranquil and steady dedication of a lifetime.
Come on, Leslie. You can do it.
Right. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Jesus, God.
Now, none of these quotes were by Jesus.
They're so wordy. They're not, there's nothing pithy. They're just words. The one about the future, The one about patriotism, and the middle one was
The truth, there are no gains without pains. Well, that is Piff.
no gains without pains. All right.
And that's a whole bucket of Piff.
I recall him being amusing. I mean, I've seen clips and whatnot. I recall him being amusing. So none of these make any sense. That first one doesn't even make. I'm going to say the first one because nobody's talking about looking to the future. Well, maybe in 1956 they were talking about looking in the future. I'm going to say A. We haven't had an A yet, David. I'll use your method. We'll see how that works.
Is that your final answer?
Sure, why not? Poor Adlai Stevenson, even in death.
Well, Leslie, I'm going to have to give you a future shock. You're right!
Woo!
That quote was the incorrect. I mean, you got that right. You know who said that quote?
Who?
Let me worst accent ever. Change is the law of life. And those
Kennedy.
who
Jimmy Cagney?
Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go for Winston Churchill, but you went for JFK instead.
And that was a JFK quote. It wasn't the.
It was a very good JFK imitation on the
That's
spur of the
very good.
moment.
I'm no Vaughn Meter, but who is? So here's the deal. We're going to get our Vaughn Meter reader in to get. Here's the latest. We have a tie. It's Vicki with 4 points, Leslie with 4 points, and David getting ready to get on perhaps the board if he steals this next question that goes to.
Come on, David, you can do it.
Yeah.
Here we go. Well, but Leslie can take the lead if you get this.
Oh, is this my question?
Yes.
Oh, I've been stealing. Okay, this is my question. Okay, let's go.
Here we go. It's another, got a lot of multiple choices this week. 1968 was the year. Released today is the first and last movie vehicle for the Monkees. Titled, this is not the question, but I'll bet you know the name.
Ed, I watched it. I love
Ed.
that movie.
Ed, yeah.
Wow, you're the only one. Okay, the experimental film is co-written by Jack Nicholson and novice director Bob Rafelson. Not only does the movie star Nesmith, Dolenz, Torque, and Jones, but it features small roles or cameos by all of these except
I might know this one.
A. Terry Garr, B. Annette Funicello, C. Scatman Crothers, D. Victor Mature.
Ooh.
One more time, real quick.
Sure. Head features all of these except A. Terry Garr, B. Annette Funicello, C. Scatman Crothers, D. Victor Mature.
I know who was in it for sure. Not sure about two of the others, so that I need to know who was not in it.
Right, that is correct.
Okay. And David, you probably know this as well, right? David Sheward.
He's not going to. Maybe.
All right. Well, I'm just I don't want a clue. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna. I'm gonna say Terry Garr. Probably it's Annette Funicello, but I'm gonna say Terry Garr.
Is that your final answer?
Well, if that's following David's thing, that would be an A followed by an A. So I don't know.
Oh.
Yes, that's my final answer. I don't remember Terry Garr in it, but I wouldn't have remembered Terry Garr then because she would have been brand new. She's not that old.
No, she's. What she have? MS or MS? She has something that we have.
Yeah, but I don't think she went back that far. Okay, go ahead.
Now, be on your guard, Leslie. That is not the correct answer. She is in the movie. So we get a steal opportunity from Vicki or from David Sheward. And we're rolling the die, and the die comes up number 3. David Sheward, a chance to get on the board here. So
Okay.
David,
On a silver platter, David. Go ahead.
Well,
here, let me give you a little head. Here's is it not in the movie? Is it
Not in the movie.
Annette Funicello, Scatman Crothers, or Victor Mature?
I'll say Annette Funicello since that's what Leslie said.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Rats. That is not the Mouseketeer Rats. No, no. Vicky, you have a 50-50 shot on this
Oh
one.
my God, Victor Mature or Scatman Crothers?
Yeah. One of them was not in the Monkees movie Head.
Yeah. Wow. Oh man, flip a coin.
It might come down,
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna say Scatman Crothers.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, Vicky, you won't be singing Hong Kong Phooey. That is the right answer, Scatman Crothers. He was in a couple of later Bob Rafelson films, including The King of Marvin Gardens and Stay Hungry, but he was not yet in Head. So wow, Vicki Quade, 6 points.
Excellent. The crazy thing about Victor Mature, of course, was that he was a way over the hill, actor that nobody knew anymore. And the Monkees loved him from old movies, so they got him to come in, and he loved the concept of doing it. They put him in a French Legionnaire's outfit, and he was going across the desert in one scene. I mean, it was really very funny.
I mean, the
crazy
movie.
movie.
You said you loved that. I don't think I've ever seen the full movie. What did you love about that movie? Because it was vilified.
It was psychedelic, and it was absolutely nuts. It made no sense whatsoever. There was nothing linear about it. There'd be a scene, and then there'd be another scene, and then there'd be a pop, and then there'd be a. Wasn't like the Beatles, where there was.
Were you on
some
roller skates? Yeah. I guess it was ahead of its time, if you think.
Yes, and I did not see it in 1956 either. So just so you know, it became a midnight movie thing as well.
That makes sense. So here's the deal. We have finished the second round of our Today Yesterday quiz on this November 6, 2021. And we have Vicky in the lead with 6 points. Leslie right behind with 4. David still waiting to get on the board.
I can't believe this, David.
This is
it happened,
sad.
It's like David's been yawning a lot, so maybe he's just off his game.
Maybe.
But David, you are not quite out of the woods. If you steal or get the next 3 questions, you could tie and then get the tiebreaker. So don't go away, David Sheward. You could and do it. So, but here's the deal: Vicky could really get a lead going here if you get this next question, which goes first directly to you. So, Vicky, you ready for another multiple choice?
Yes.
1975 was the year. At St. Martin's College of Art in London, opening for a band called Bazooka Joe is a raucous group of misfits who call themselves the Sex Pistols. They played some cover songs and then got into a scuffle with the other band who wanted to come on before the Pistols could play any originals. Speaking of originals, which of these was not a song on the group's first and only studio album, Never Mind the Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols? Which of these was not a song on there?
I have no idea. Go ahead.
A, Damaged. B, Bodies. C, New York. D, Problems.
Ooh.
Isn't that a story by John Updike?
There's many stories by John Updike.
It sounds like our life.
The plot line.
New York with Problems. Yeah.
I'm going to say Problems. Just a guess.
Is that your final guess?
Yes.
I'm afraid that guess was rather problematic. That is not the correct answer. So, this game could change now. Let's see. We're rolling the die. Comes up a number 5. 5 is closest to Leslie. So, Leslie, you have.
I was so tempted to go into where my records are and pull out my record of that, but I won't do it.
Do you have it? Oh my goodness.
I do. Yeah, I saved half of the records that I owned since college when I moved here, and I had a thing built just for the records. Who knew vinyl was coming back? But I would not get rid of any of my British stuff. I mean, that I had to keep because Problem is I haven't played it in 20 years. So give me the clues again, please.
The one of these is not on that first.
Right.
I have only Sex Pistols record. Never mind the bollocks. Here's the Sex Pistols. Is it? Excuse me. A, Damaged. B, Bodies. C, New York.
I'm going to say Bodies.
Is that your final?
Yeah.
Is that your final answer? Well, everybody, that is not the correct answer.
Oh.
So, David Sheward, the
Here you go,
star,
David. It's
50-50.
yours.
So my choices are New York and what?
damaged.
Damaged in New York
Yeah.
or damaged New York.
There were two different things. Damaged. Yeah.
Damaged New York. All right. It's 50-50, what does it matter? Life goes on anyway, whether I get this right or not. So
Basically true. Yes. Yes.
it could be either one. I have no way of knowing.
Well, actually, David, you didn't realize we've turned this into Squid Game. So someone is going to die at the
Oh my lord.
You haven't even answered yet. You didn't get the answer out before you strangled to death.
Okay.
He's just squidding. Yeah.
All right. The one that's not, I'll say damaged is not.
Is that your final?
Yeah.
answer?
Yeah. What the hell?
No, you've done some damage to the others with that answer because you're on the board now, David Sheward,
Finally.
with 2
All right.
points.
Not a total embarrassment.
So this is so cool.
So are we all watching Squid Game?
I've never seen it. I don't want to see
No,
it.
I got better things to do.
Oh, I watched the first episode. I will go back when I have some more time and binge.
Is
the
it
rest
really,
of
really gory and awful and like?
I didn't find it gory. I found it very insightful in terms of why these people are doing what they're doing. It's really a treatise on what's going on in the world today.
But isn't it just? It's the same idea as the Hunger Games and every other.
Exactly. But in a more rounded fashion. The
And
Hunger Games was
Rollerball and the Running Man and all the, it's the same
yeah,
idea.
but those were all in apocalyptic times, and this is now basically.
Oh.
Why?
It's
Can I
not-
ask just why is it called Squid Game? Are the helpers dressed as squids, or what? Why is it actually?
There's a kids video game called Squid Game. That's all I know.
Okay, I was wondering. Yeah, I think because all
And
I see is that you show in stills of the show, you see these people in blue. They're like blue men with weird tummy
Right.
things, and I thought, oh, they're like squids, but squids don't look like
No,
that. So it's
Not-
totally
not
wrong.
anything to do.
Anyway, we have another question now. A question that goes directly to David Sheward, who
Okay.
has 2 points and can
Wow.
get 4 if you get. Well, no, I mean, it's a game here.
No, I wasn't being sarcastic. I was saying it was a
It's
sincere
just very low
wow.
energy today. It's
It
just
was
a low energy
sincere
day.
wow.
So
I didn't get
these,
a lot of sleep last night for some reason.
David Sheward, you get our second 3 clues
Ooh.
in the news, which
Okay.
are words or names connected to
Okay.
another thing. So blank this or this blank, and so.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
Wade, Ham, Wolf.
Wade, Ham, Wolf. Wade, W-A-D-E. Wade.
Yes.
Wade, Ham, Wolf. Sliced wolf.
Delicious,
Ham.
by the way.
Ham pack. Wade. Ham. Spiced ham. Spiced wolf. Wolf or pack? Wolf. Sheep. Wolf. She-wolf. Werewolf. Wade. Water. Ham. Sandwich. I'll have a sandwich.
What did
Blitzer. Wolf. Ham blitzer.
that- Ham Blitzer?
Ham blitzer. Wade Johnson. Ham. Wade Ham Wolf. Ham. Maybe bone? Wolf. Wolf down the sandwich. I call on Peggy Cass for help.
Which one of us is Peggy Cass?
I think the answer is infrastructure.
Oh.
Wolf infrastructure. Wolf blitzer. Wolf. I don't know. Wade. Water. You wade in the water, but ham. Spiced. Sandwich. Mustard.
Hard one.
That's what she
Egg. Wolf eggs. Ham.
What is it?
Wolf. Wade.
No? Okay.
And what was in the news this week? Okay, I can't think of it. Indictment.
Wow. Your final answer.
Indictment.
No, I can't even think of a pun on indictment, but that is
I
not.
said indictment because on one time Sam Waterston said, "I'm the assistant district attorney. I can indict a ham sandwich if I want to."
That's actually that is a great line. I remember that too. Here's the die rolling, and the die is cast, and the die gives us number 1, which is closest to Vicki. Vicki, you could really put the game away.
Oh, I could if I knew it. I'm literally going like, the trial in Kenosha. Well, that doesn't matter. That doesn't seem to do anything. That's you're probably not even that interested in that trial, but that's really a fascinating local thing.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also the one in Georgia.
So
the similar one.
So I'm like Wade. You're right. It's like Wade in the water. Wade. Ham and wolf. So wolf trap, wolf whistle.
Ham trap.
Wolfmen, ham men, man ham, Wade man. Wolf. Wolf trap. Wolf
down the sandwich.
Wolf down the sandwich. Yeah. Ham. Hamus Alabamas. Virginia ham. Virginia. I'll just say Virginia. It makes no sense at all. Virginia.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Vicki Quade, you just got that right, and you just won the game.
No.
Virginia Ham, Virginia Wade, the tennis player, Virginia Wolf.
Oh.
That's nothing to be afraid of. You got that. Oh my God.
Very good.
You know what I was thinking of? That movie.
And Virginia, of course, in the news because that was a big election that went to the Republicans instead of the Democrats.
Yeah, Virginia.
Well done, Vicki
Very
Quade.
good.
Oh my gosh. So we still have some game to go just for funsies, but Vicki,
ask the questions anyway.
8 points. Yeah. But it wasn't. Oh, I'm so proud of myself. And I knew when you heard Virginia Woolf, people were like, "Oh God, yes."
I totally forgot about Virginia Wade.
Never think of it being a proper name. You think of it being a.
That's why I kind of mentioned. I threw in the word names.
If you had said Slim, I may have gotten it.
Oh, I did that. Yeah.
You've got your own cigarette now, baby.
That's yeah.
Damn right. You can get lung cancer too.
But Vicki, you are so.
Damn it, you can get your own cigarette.
This next question goes to Leslie Hoban Blake, who does have already 4 points in the game. So for funsies, let's see if we can get 2 more. The year, go back to your record collection. Actually, I'm not sure how this went. I should put this one earlier in the quiz, but it's all right. 1948 was the year. Okay. Born today in Detroit is singer, songwriter, and guitarist Glenn Frey, who, after backing Bob Seger for a short time, joined with Don Henley to form one of the best-selling pop bands of all time. That is
The Eagles. The Eagles, right, okay.
Well, anyway, Frey went solo after that, releasing 5 albums, the first 2 of which went gold on the charts. Which of the following is not a Glenn Frey solo record? A, Strange Weather.
Popcorn.
B, Inside Job. C, The All-Nighter. Or D, After Hours.
One more time, please.
Sure. Which of these is not a Glenn Frey album? A, Strange Weather. B, Inside Job. C, The All-Nighter. Or D, After Hours.
Which is not. I'm going to say B, Inside Job, B.
Is that your final answer? Really good job, Leslie. That was the incorrect answer. Inside Job was actually a year 2000 Don Henley album. So, and all the rest were Glenn Frey album. Was that a pure guess, or did you have some?
No, I used David's system of we shouldn't give this away, David. I used David's system of you never had a B answer, so this was a B answer.
Wow, I never had a B Arthur either. So there you go. Anyway,
But I did. I played her twice, so there you go.
I never liked the Eagles. Can't just never.
Pines,
Oh God, I made out to the Eagles more than any other group.
I love the Eagles.
Love
Hotel
the Eagles.
California. Love the Eagles.
Oh God, love the Eagles, man.
I want to hear more about Leslie's makeout sessions. My goodness, good to know.
You know what drove me crazy about the Hotel California?
What?
She got okay. How can you rhyme Benz with men's?
Badly.
Well, they
She got a lot.
It's called a near rhyme. It's called a near rhyme, and in
She
music,
got
it's
a lot of pretty boys.
That he calls men.
men's. So what does she do? She has a bunch of mincing little cute boys, and she calls them, "Hey, men's, come over here and
It sounds like a Liza Minnelli thing right there. I mean, she would do that.
sit at the table here and amuse me."
All right. Well,
And the guy who's singing the song, he's a real man. He runs out of the room when we carve up the beast, whatever that means.
Oh,
Yeah, but you can never forget the best line. You can check out anytime you want.
Yeah.
You can never leave. That's
Yeah.
that's a classic
that's a
line.
great line.
Well, I guess
existential, man. Existential.
does it mean that if you're in Hollywood, you got to hang around with predatory women and mincing gay
I'm
people?
Yeah,
down with
that's
that.
what that means,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Is
that's
that what it means?
Pretty much. Yeah.
there's only one person who might know, and I bet he doesn't know either. But they were so
And-
stoned when they did
and
that they have
cannibals?
absolutely no idea what it
Are they
means.
saying Californians are cannibals?
Oh, absolutely.
Have you ever done business? with her?
California is cannibalistic itself.
I got metaphorically, yeah.
Now I'm going to
Yes.
look up those lyrics. I want to
Yeah, me
see
too.
if
I
there's
want-
men's.
I've heard the song on the radio like a dozen times. I've never really bothered after the first,
I'm going to look up
the
those
chorus.
lyrics.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
man, I live with that.
Well, it rhymes with Mercedes Benz.
Yeah.
And then she says she got a lot of pretty boys she calls men's.
I thought friends. She calls friends. No?
Yeah, or if it's
Oh,
California.
I thought it was friends also, not
it
men. I
friends?
thought it was friends. And friends
don't
and Benz
know.
are a perfect rhyme.
Yeah, actually, I would have done colon cleanse. Would have been my rhyme for
Lord
that.
have mercy.
So it
Lord
says
have
California.
That would have worked for last week's Colin Powell thing.
Yeah, and
hold on.
I didn't.
I
that
got it up
reminds me,
here.
I didn't know what the lyrics to Gypsy's. What's that? The Cher song.
Yes. She's got a lot of pretty boys she calls friends.
Friends.
Oh,
That's
I
why
always
I
thought it
didn't know
was
what you were
men.
talking about, right?
Oh.
Oh,
And
okay.
friends and Benz.
What's the song that
What was the
Okay.
thing about the gypsies, tramps,
That's
and
pretty-
thieves? What was
yeah.
your problem with that one?
No, it was half breed. There's a line
Oh.
in the Cher song "Half Breed," which I always thought was a half breed. How I learned to hate the word half breed. She's no goodly. It was. She's no goodly womb. Both sides were against me since the day I was born, and I didn't realize until this Broadway show when Stephanie Block actually articulated the words properly. It's she's no good. They warned.
Yeah.
Each side was against me since the day I was born. And Cher would sort of mumble the lyrics, so it didn't make any sense.
It's
You
still
know,
a-
there is a book of lyrics that nobody knows are true. And
Right.
my sister used to sing. There was a song called "Leave Your Fickle Past Behind You." I don't remember what the song was.
Hmm.
And she heard "Leave Your Fickle Fat Behind You," and all her life she said, "Leave your fickle fat behind you."
Well, isn't the
I
story
fall
that
over
Bob
every time I think of that. What?
Bob Dylan thought that the Beatles' "I Want to Hold Your Hand" was "I Get High" instead of
Everybody thought it was I get high. Yeah, and then it was I can't hide was the actual
Right.
lyric.
But he thought they were singing "I Get High," so when they came, he offered them pot or something, And I think that's the first time they said they had pot.
Yeah.
That was not the first time that they had pot.
I
No,
think
it
they had
was.
poppers, but I think,
No, actually,
I think they did poppers. But yeah,
no, back in the day, I'm not proud of this, but one of the people who was on our show many years ago was the journalist Al Aronowitz, who was like a Hunter S. Thompson type, and we had him on like a year or two before he died, and he created that meeting between Dylan and the Beatles, and he made sure that there was comestibles there that would get them can't hide.
Friendly.
So this is a bit of rock history right on this program. But anywho, we have a tiebreaker question
Okay.
for you guys.
Wait, are we tied? We're not tied.
No, but you know.
Fun, for fun.
Oh, Vicki ran away with it.
Vicky
This
won.
might be the
Vicky's the
first. This is the first time I've won.
Vicki is the winner. Yay!
I think
Yay,
you've
Vicki.
never won before, Vicki?
Believe it.
You've never? I thought you won once or twice.
Oh, maybe I did win one time before. Okay, second time.
But this
I'm
is
not
the first time
David
you
or
beat,
Leslie.
like our
Yeah, you know.
yeah. So
Oh, I'm a scat second, babe. I mean, you know, that believe me, it's not
Never.
many.
All right.
So here we go. This is a write-in answer. You know how it is. I'll read the question. I'll do 3, 2, 1. You hold your answer up to the camera. 1854
Good Lord.
was the year. Born today in Washington, D.C. is the March King, John Philip Sousa. He's best known for composing Stars and Stripes Forever, Semper Fidelis, and also the march that would become the theme song for Monty Python's Flying Circus.
Oh, do the cow one.
What is the actual name of that march, which Sousa completed in Chicago,
Oh.
750 miles from its subject?
Uh-oh. All the pressure's on Vicki.
I know the geography person.
I can't remember how it goes.
Represent
Yeah,
Chicago.
Monty Python.
50 miles.
I think that's right.
Okay, I sort of have it. Yeah, it doesn't help. Thank you. I mean, thank you for trying.
I have no idea.
No, I mean, I don't. It doesn't tell me what the title
All
is.
right,
So
let's,
thank
okay.
you.
All right. 700 and something miles from Chicago.
I'm guessing. I got no idea.
Here's his name.
I have no idea.
Well, we
I'm not
have to
gonna
write it
write.
on a piece of paper.
I'm gonna.
Well, you want me to
give
write? I
all of
have no
you-
idea on a piece of paper. I'm not going to bother
Yeah.
wasting my
All
paper.
right, I'm ready.
Are you ready? Well, here's the deal. I'll give you a little bit of a clue. Think of the very first moment of the march, how it starts.
David, they're not all Python fans like you.
Oh, everybody's got to be a Python fan.
Well, I'm a
I'm
Python
a
fan,
Python
but I
fan,
don't.
but not
I don't
not
remember.
the music necessarily.
David
All
loves
right, I got my wrong answer ready.
Like, did that help
Ready.
anybody? Did that not help anybody?
No, it didn't help at all. I'm ready.
I got my wrong answer ready. Are we ready?
Are we ready? Leslie, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read the question again. The year was 1854. Born today in Washington, D.C. is March King John Philip Sousa, known for composing Stars and Stripes Forever, Semper Fidelis, and also the march that would become the theme song for Monty Python's Flying Circus. What is the actual name of that march, which Sousa completed in Chicago, 750 miles from its subject? Okay, I'm going to give a 3, 2, 1. Let's see those answers.
Philadelphia.
Okay, so, thank you, Leslie. March of the Trolls in Illinois. Is that?
Oh,
That town.
Part of that town in Illinois.
Thank you, Leslie. And what? I mean, you.
Mine says Philadelphia.
Oh, well, Vicki, you are actually the closest.
whoa.
Because think about it. How does the song start? By the way, the March of the town in
That
Illinois.
town in Illinois.
I'm afraid that is not.
He thinks Illinois is 750 miles long.
Chicago.
It's not.
No, I
It's
don't
not.
know.
But Vicki, Philadelphia is.
Close.
So the
Oh.
name of the march. What is the first thing you hear?
The Liberty Bell? The Liberty Bell March? Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I'm from
It's the
Philadelphia.
Liberty Bell. Dun, daga, 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 daga. The first thing you hear is a bell, and it's the Liberty Bell March. That
How
I was
embarrassed.
you were the closest, Vicki. So you would have won. Well, if we were giving quarter points, if you were Dr. Sue,
You were Dr. Sue, right.
For
You
no,
would ask for it,
Philadelphia.
right? Congratulations to Vicki Quade
You? Oh my God, I'm
and
so
many,
thrilled.
many more.
Mazel tov,
You gotta
mazel
go out
tov.
and
Vicki.
celebrate, Vicki.
So
Hey,
you
Vicki,
look at
drinks,
prizes.
Vicki, drinks are on you.
I know, really.
So let's
I
remind
matched my
you-
mug to the trees, by the way.
The way to, oh, look at that. The way to celebrate Vicky's victory, we'll call you Victorious this week, is
That's
to
right.
go see her play at the greenhouse that she is in. She co-wrote the play, but you are doing late night
Night cabin.
capitalism. Is it, what is it,
Right.
Saturday, Sundays, Friday night? When is it?
Fridays, 2 shows Saturday, 1 show Sunday.
Wow. So
Well, just 4 shows, and then we do Christmas bingo after that.
in a
And then
couple-
Christmas and other holidays are coming up.
So give the gift. How do people get a copy? Nunsforfun.com. Do you have that on the website?
I don't. I shouldn't I?
Or how
No,
do people
it's
get a copy of Close Encounters?
Eckhart's Press. ECKHARTZ. Eckhart's Press.
Eckhart's Press for Vicki.
And if you are in Kindle, if you like Kindle, it is available on Amazon in the Kindle version.
So everybody, go read Vicki's book about Chicago. If you're in Chicago, go see her at the Greenhouse. All week, four opportunities during the weekend to see Late Night Catechism. Joyce is putting that in the feed in our Facebook.
Perfect.
Now, we also want to talk about David Sheward and his writing and his theater reviews. You've been seeing a whole bunch of theater. So what have you reviewed on culturaldaily.com and theaterlife.com this week?
Well, my currently is a review of Carolina Change. And I saw a cinema broadcast of Fire Shut Up in My Bones, the opera.
How is that? I mean, how it's is it?
No, it's very powerful. I thought it was very good.
Oh, okay.
Very interesting, different, and it's interesting that both I saw the two together, one after the other, Carolina Change and then Fire Shut Up in My Bones. And they cover. They're both revolutionary. They're both different. They're both taking a staid kind of medium like Broadway and opera and so shaking it up a little bit. It's interesting. Carolina Change, when it opened on Broadway in 2004, it was kind of overshadowed by Wicked and Avenue Q. So now I think it's kind of coming into its own.
Cool.
Very relevant now. And I am working on my review of Morning Sun from Manhattan Theater Club and Fairy Cakes.
Yeah, Fairy Cakes did not get really wonderful reviews. It's closing earlier than they thought.
Yes.
It's going to be closing in a couple of weeks. Should people make tracks, or is it a mess? Or
Fairy Cakes.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a mess. It has some laughs,
But it has Julie Halston and Jackie Hoffman. I mean,
Yes,
what's not to like?
Well, they do the best they can with it, and it's just a very slight little premise stretched out to 2.5 hours.
It's so sad because Douglas Carter Bean Once Upon a Time was the wonderkind, and
there's nothing sad. He's had a very good career.
No. But that's my point. I mean, there comes a point where every show is not a hit, and that makes. Yeah. And the same thing happened to Richard Greenberg, and the same thing happened to Tennessee Williams. I mean, if they live and they keep writing, then they hit bumps.
Yeah, sometimes they come back as Arthur Miller.
All of life is like that. I mean, a lot of people,
Thank you. That is very deep, David. Very deep. Whoa. May I quote you? What did you say?
Yes, all of life.
Look at Lanford Wilson. I mean, Lanford Wilson had some big flops, and then he would come back and write something like, "Oh my gosh, that's one of his best pieces." It would happen all the time.
Well, even August Wilson, for God's sakes, those were not all 10 plays were not winners. The last play was very,
I don't know.
A real flop. Yeah.
The last play was very confusing. The one
Radio Golf.
It was very.
Radio Golf was the last one. However, I think his legacy is very solid. And
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, hey, Shakespeare had a couple of losers too.
And look at Edward Albee. Albee wrote some of the worst plays
Pericles
ever.
Comes to mind.
Yeah.
What?
Albee wrote some of the worst plays ever, and then came back with Three Tall Women. So,
true.
What about the Three Tall Women with 3 arms?
Oh,
yeah,
that was a 3-hander. But
they all had 9 arms.
It's like a Squid Game thing.
Yeah.
Now,
that's a good parody. I'll have to write that for my blog. The 3 tall women who had 3 arms.
Sounds like a space
alien. Actually, they should have
3 arms each, or they had 3 arms all among.
Yeah, right. Is that 9 arms in total, or
9 arms? Yeah. Well, the famous Broadway, the famous Albee play.
Sisters.
Oh, we saw that together.
Yes.
Joyce, I took you to Sideshow.
Yes, you did.
Wow, I made Joyce sit through Sideshow.
And you took me to Tokyo Shock Boys.
That was horrific. Oh, I love Tokyo Shock Boys. But anywho,
Morning Sun is there's a lot very good performances in Morning Sun.
What is it about?
Well, it's just
About
basically
2 hours.
Three not tall women, right?
it's three. It's a mother, a daughter, and the granddaughter, and their lives in Greenwich Village.
Oh.
And that was the one where Marin Ireland. I think, did I tell you? Was it last week? There was this beeping going on throughout the performance.
Right.
And at one point, Marin, at a very quiet moment, and every couple of minutes there'd be this beep, like someone was getting a text message, and Marin Ireland stopped and said, "Can someone turn off their device that's making this noise? We're all in this together. Can you help out a neighbor if they don't know how to shut it off?" And there was dead silence, and everybody knew what was happening except the person whose phone it was.
Right.
And then they kept going, and the beeps came back, not as frequently, but they were still there.
So yeah, and by the way, we got to say we watched this week Marin Ireland in a terrific piece on Broadway HD. It was the one about the woman who, the mother whose kid was killed in a gun accident, and I forget what
Texas,
it was.
Right? It was in Texas, was it?
I forget where it was. It's a one-woman show, and it would have been an off-Broadway thing, and then they brought it to Broadway HD.
I can look it up.
Oh.
And wow, this doesn't ring a bell, David or Leslie?
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, it was really, really beautifully written, and she was great in it.
Would it be in our favorites?
And she's a college professor,
I think we're
and her
we need to rejoin in. I think
her kid's in high school, and he's a victim of a gun shooting, and then she goes to a politician with the intent of she buys a gun and intends to kill the politician who's been railing against gun control. Anyway, it's brilliant. It's a wonderful piece if you get to see it. Marin, Marin. If I may be mispronouncing that, Ireland, like London, only the other country.
Two plays.
Now, while Joyce is looking, Leslie, how's Critic Circle going? I know you're not on it like this.
Well, no, I am. No, but here's what happened. I am back on it, the way I'm on it is. See, David, when you did it, we were in a tizzy. We didn't know quite how to do this. When both of you did your interviews, we understand how to do this now. Isa Goldberg was our guest this week for Lackawanna Blues. Dave Sheward did Sanctuary City. David Lefkowitz did Lehman Trilogy. Those are all up on YouTube, and they are on our MNN network as well. What we've done is I come in to introduce the critic who's taking my place. I mean, that's what makes sense. And then I'm not off the show, which was really very awkward to be off the show for that length of time. I was still doing my producerial background, work that I do.
Sure.
So I came on at the end of Lackawanna Blues because I had seen the original, and neither Dave and neither Charlie, Jesus, I'm doing that again. Neither Charlie nor Isa had seen the original. And I'd also seen the movie, which neither of them had seen. And so I could talk a little bit about the real power of that play and how really well done it has been. I mean, the George C. Wolfe did the movie. Anyway, so we have that's our latest show that has us talking about that. And I think, Dave, you might be on that one as well with the Lehman Trilogy. And then I think Charlie pulled out a Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop interview that he did in 1994 when they were on Broadway. And it's the most adorable thing. It is so adorable. She sings under the credits. She sings the song that would not end.
Right.
End. And she says end. And it was just lovely. She died 2 years later, so it was really sweet to have that. I wish he had more. I wish he had more stuff that was viable in the vault. He's going to come up with something by Carol Channing shortly.
Oh boy!
But he didn't save everything. He didn't do that many interviews, and he didn't save all of them. So, or he just didn't do that many of them. Whichever, I don't know.
Yeah, because back in the day, he would have had to bring like actual. Wow.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he had camera and the whole thing. Yeah.
Wow. Anywho, so people can go watch the most recent episode and all the older episodes of Critics Circle at the YouTube channel Critics Circle. People can go to David Sheward's Theater Life column and culturaldaily.com column. And of course, people can read Vicki's book by buying it on Amazon by a Kindle and to go see her shows in Chicago at
Hold it up again. Hold it up again.
Hold it one more time.
Hold it up again. There you go.
Guys, a most happy November to you. Remember, you're getting extra night of sleep tonight, or
I
No, extra
David
hour.
Sheward, I didn't
Extra
sleep well
hours.
last night either. Was it heat in the apartment or something? Heat was bothering me.
No, I don't
Oh,
know. I just
Okay.
had a few drinks with dinner and
Oh, I didn't mean to get personal. I just thought, but for me, it was the heat in the apartment. I'm not used to it yet. I don't like heat in the apartment. I try to keep it cool. Okay, guys, it was lovely to see you all.
See you.
Wonderful. And one last time, congratulations, Vicki Quade, winner of our
Congratulations,
yesterday
Vicki
quiz.
Quade.
Yay.
Thrilled.
So
All right.
see you
Bye-bye,
guys
everybody.
all very soon.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a great one,
Bye.
David Sheward. Oh, and going to remove David, and there we go. So it is not quite noon on this Saturday, November 6, 2021. What a nice, light, playful show we have had in the Daverhood today. And we have a little more to do. Okay, we'll be here a little bit after noon today. We're generally on from 9 until noon or thereabouts. On this program, Dave's gone by with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling, wonderful, and ever so helpful wife, who reminded me that the name of the play that I was talking about is called On the Exhale. So if you happen to have Broadway HD and you can find it, it's a really, really strong piece, On the Exhale. Give it a look. Anywho, this is our 823rd episode of the show. We've been calling it Joshing in honor of... and did you even realize this? This is fantastic. In your design of this, you've got stars and happy and hello. Josh, very briefly, was able to show our brand new cousin, Luke Foster. And these are generally supposed to be balloons, but they're like little sperms, which is cool. Those sperms turned into my new cousin, who is really adorable. He was very, very cute. So congratulations to Josh and Dana, and thank you, Josh, for being on the Daverhood today. It was great to have you on and to talk to you. So we have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned still to do. But before we get to that, Josh is now a friend of the Daverhood. Luke, he didn't say much. He didn't cry or anything, which was good.
But that's baby talk.
That is baby talk. He's more articulate than some of the guests we had.
So we could have felt kinship, like seeing the baby potato.
I did. Oh, of course I. And of course, baby Papito. Baby Papito is also.
It was us, yeah.
Friends of the Daverhood are folks who have been on this program in months or years past. We keep in touch. We kind of like to let you know what they're currently up to, because they're like friends. They're like, in this particular case, Josh literally is family. But anybody who's been on this program is kind of family of the Daverhood. So here's how they're doing. So, let me let you know, first of all, want to have you check out Robert Cuccioli, our actor friend, playing Guido in something called Project 9. It's adapted from... 9, well, the number 9, adapted from the Broadway musical 9, which, by the way, was co-created by our other friend, Mario Fratti.
Wow. How
But
is Mario? Do you speak his
have
language?
not,
He
honestly,
supported your work so
he's
hard,
well up
yeah.
there, though. I think he's alive.
But he supported your work a lot,
Oh.
David.
Mario was really, really cool.
A lot of feedback, yeah.
So Robert Cuccioli is playing Guido in a piece called Project 9 that was put together by actress and now director Glory Crampton. You can watch it as part of the New York Shorts Film Festival going on right now, so check that out. Letting you know that starting today or tonight and running through the end of November, honey,
What?
it's an Austin Pendleton alert.
But I think that's rare at all. It's not rare.
That became kind of a joke a couple of years ago because Austin Pendleton was so busy and doing so many different projects that you announce him in one thing one week, and a week later Austin Pendleton would be doing something else. Well, right now...
But it was like, where's Waldo, right?
Yeah, and he was even on Broadway for a period during that time in a play, and then he would go off and do something off Broadway in a cabaret thing. The wonderful Austin Pendleton. He is now in a show called The Dark Outside that is being done at Theater for the New City over on First Avenue. So actually, probably our friend, my
Who, honey?
stage manager friend, Bill, is probably running into him a lot over at TNC.
Well, how is Bill?
Bill should be great. He should be doing really well.
Bill, my friend Bill.
The show is called The Dark Outside. Go see Austin Pendleton in it from now until the end of the month. Playing now and this week, just this weekend, you can see Melanie Greenberg's The Elephant in the Room.
Oh, I wonder. Yeah, we talked to her before that launch.
Yeah, like a week or two ago. Now she's doing it as part of the United Solo Theater Festival over on Theater Row, in person, live in Midtown
Is the festival
Manhattan.
going on now?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, wow.
not only is the festival going on now, she's doing the show this weekend.
Oh, wow.
The Elephant in the Room.
That's cool, David.
Now playing at
She
the
was, and didn't she win the quiz? I think
Did she?
won when she was on. She won, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So that congratulations on.
Give her a leg,
So
maybe.
forget even the play. She won our Chicken Yesterday quiz. Playing at the winery tomorrow, there's a tribute to Bob Dylan and Paul Simon. So a bunch of lesser known folks who are doing, not always so lesser known, are doing songs by them. Those include Willie Nile, who's a marvelous guest on the show, and the Kennedys, who are also great guests, but then started bad-mouthing the show. So don't go see them. When they do their songs, walk out of the room.
What
But
did
stay
they
for
say?
Willie Nile. Well, yeah.
What happened?
Well,
Oh, they wanted editing.
longish story, but they were great. They were talking to Rabbi Saul. And then when, I don't know, something about that after that happened, and they're appearing at our local library. And it was some kind of thing where they suddenly said that, it was they didn't like Rabbi Saul, it was a terrible interview or something like that, but they didn't like the tone or something. Meanwhile, they had a fantastic time, and you can go listen to them in the
That's
interview.
sad.
Yeah. So, the Kennedys.
You know,
Yeah.
it's revisionist history.
I think the wrong Kennedy was shot, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay,
No,
don't
I'm
say
kidding.
that.
I'm kidding.
Apologize.
I do apologize.
That's mean.
Yes, I do. No, I don't. But see Willie Nile for sure on City Winery tomorrow in that tribute to Bob Dylan and Paul Simon. And then on the 8th, running through the end of the month on Monday nights, Sidney Meyer, he is the guy who kind of books all the acts for Don't Tell Mama. He does his own act at a different club. It's Pangea over on 2nd Avenue. So it's been held over and extended. He's back there Monday nights, Sidney Meyer. Go see him. And then on the 10th of this week, November 10th, Jeff Harner sings Sondheim at Feinstein's 54 Below. Go see him. And also go see on the 11th and the 13th, so I guess that's Friday and
How big
Sunday.
is that club.
I'm sorry, what?
Feinstein's the club. How big is it?
It's called Feinstein's 54 Below. It's one of the bigger, fancier cabaret clubs.
Okay.
So it's like a little higher-ish level than Don't Tell
Like
Mama.
how many people in the
and
audience?
I don't know. I don't know, but probably well over 100. Trav SD, get it? Trav SD.
Oh, that's cute.
Our director, writer friend, he is doing something called the Pilgrim's Progress, which is part of the Gotham Storytelling Festival being done at the Crane Theater over on East 4th Street. That's happening Friday and next Sunday, the 13th. Also, speaking of Friday and running all the way through January, our actor friend Raymond Bahour has become a producer, and he's co-producing a Sherlock Carol at New World Stages
What is that?
off Broadway. It's a mashup of a holiday play with a Sherlock Holmes
Oh,
play.
I would love that.
So Ray Bahour is producing that. Go see it. It starts previews, I should say, on November 11th and then runs through January 2nd off Broadway. And then from the 11th through the 13th, so I'm assuming that's like Friday, Saturday, or Monday, Donna McKechnie, beloved from A Chorus Line, Donna McKechnie is at Green Room 42 with her cabaret piece. And then the same date, so if you're in town, one night go see Donna McKechnie, and then go see Linda Eder at Feinstein's 54 Below. On Friday the 12th, so 11th is Thursday, I guess. Friday the 12th? I might be getting some of these things off in terms of the days. But November 12th, Lilius White, who is on Broadway in Chicago as we speak, is also singing Sarah Vaughan at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center. NJPAC.org is the place to get tickets. Karen Mason, also playing on the 12th. She's got a new album out called Let the Music Play. David Friedman is on there as well. I think that's the release of her album. She's not playing that night. It's releasing the album Let the Music
Like a
Play.
party?
Well, not even a listening party. That's just the date that they're dropping the record from Zebully Records. Let the Music Play. And then, and I think David Friedman plays on it, and he's also been a friend of the Daverhood. We were talking about Lackawanna Blues before, which I'm not going to get to see, but it's playing on Broadway at the Samuel J. Friedman Theater. It's a Manhattan Theater Club revival of his off-Broadway show, now only through November 12th. Mrs. Warren's Profession, off-Broadway. It's a Gingle Theater Group production featuring our friends, Robert Cuccioli, there he is. We're going to have to start doing Robert Cuccioli alerts. And Karen Ziemba. And then playing now through November 21st, Ken Ludwig's play Dear Jack, Dear Louise. If you're in New Jersey, it's at the George Street Playhouse. Every Saturday, now through the end of the month, Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano at Birdland. We mentioned Julie Halston. She is in Fairy Cakes at the Greenwich House Theater. I think that's just for 2 more weeks.
What is that about? A fairy tale? A fairy tale?
It seems like a fairy tale thing. I thought it was all about a baker not wanting to sell pastries to gay people, but it may be a very different thing. It's a comedy, though, so you might want to check it out. It's got Julie Halston, as we said. LaChanze is on Broadway in Trouble in Mind, now through January 9th. Dakin Matthews is on Broadway in Waitress. J.O. Sanders is on Broadway in Girl from the North Country. And Darren Lee Cole got some mixed but very positive reviews for his piece that he co-wrote and co-directs called Tammany Hall. That
Broadway's opening up.
Yeah, that you can see off-Broadway at Soho Playhouse, Darren Lee Cole. And then Jim Caruso's Cast Party every Monday night at Birdland, StageBuddy.com, a wonderful website where you can learn about New York nightlife, and our friend Evan Seplow created that. Dr. Demento, new Dr. Demento shows at drdemento.com. Podcasts about upstate New York history by Bob Cudmore at bobcudmore.com. Stuart Brown's soundsofbroadway.com is 24/7 show tunes, so just go there anytime you want to listen to some musical theater, and read Phil Mushnick, his columns about sports in the New York Post. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. I remember for months during the pandemic when we would do our Friends of the Daverhood, it'd be over in like 2 minutes because nobody was doing anything. Everybody was sitting home and watching Netflix. And now it's like, oh, so-and-so's here and so-and-so's there. And
yeah, there are people, there's so much action.
Everybody's doing stuff, which is great, which is cool. What we're doing in the last dwindling moments of this 823rd episode of Dave's Gone By is first giving a shout out to our friends at Hewlett Minuteman Press, the Copy Kings of Broadway. Won't tell you to patronize because that would be a commercial. We're not doing that. Won't tell you about any kind of discounts or anything. Just saying that the Torong family owns and operates Hewlett Minuteman Press in the heart of Hewlett, Long Island, as they have since the mid-1970s. I have used them for a lot of things, and they've been great to work with. Enough said. Hewlett Minuteman Press. Also want to remind you that our archives are in several places. I've mentioned davesgoneby.com. Everything there is free. All the interviews we've done, all the complete episodes, the skits, everything else, you can find them, davesgoneby.com. Plus, we put our archives at archive.org. We have a channel there, archive.org, which is just a nonprofit collecting entertainment and the arts from decades and centuries ago. Archive.org. Look for Dave's Gone By there too. Look for Dave's Gone By on our Castbox.fm channel. That is audio only. It's specifically just for people who want to listen to the show. You know, we were a radio show for the first 16 years. It's just been the last 4 that we've been on video, but all of our stuff, audio only, is available at castbox.fm as easily downloadable podcasts. We have a YouTube channel, Dave's Gone By. Most of our stuff is there. Plus, if you are in Nassau County, Long Island, and you get Altice Cablevision, Tuesday nights, 9:30 in the evening, for 1 hour, you can watch a random excerpt of Dave's Gone By right on Channel 20. Dave's Guide is called the Daverhood. It's not a whole show, and we just kind of pluck things at random, but check it out. It's a lot of fun, and it's a nice way to get a whole new audience because people will suddenly be, flipping dials prime time. They'll get to a commercial in some major network show they're watching, flip and not want to stay there for 3 minutes of commercials, and suddenly there's Dave's Gone By right on Channel 20, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Altice Cable. Make sure you set your clock properly tonight so that you don't miss it this Tuesday. So there. Want to remind you, if you want to get in touch with me, my email is davesgoneby@aol.com. DAVESGONEBY@aol.com. I have a Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2, Radio Dave and the number 2. So by all means, check that out as well. As soon as I finally do get a new phone, I'll get an Instagram account up. I have one, but it's just impossible to use.
You will.
So at some point, I will start making little videos that are stupid and inane, and they'll get 1 million viewers, and I'll be much, much happier.
Just get a new phone.
We're thinking about it. Believe me, I'm thinking about it.
Just
Yeah.
get a new phone.
Maybe black market. Black market.
Dark web.
3 hours of talking. Black Friday sales or black market. Make me a deal.
Dark web.
$140 for an iPhone. Yes. Okay, I'll do it.
You don't want you should get an iPhone because it'll work with your Mac.
Exactly.
You should just ask your family, like Esther and those people, if they keep their old iPhones and take that.
Oh yeah.
But it has to be T-Mobile compatible.
Yeah. Plus, also, why would I get another old phone?
But it's newer than yours.
Still. Anywho, I think that covers most of what I wanted to tell you. Are we good? Do we need to talk about anything else? I didn't really even get to talk. I was so enamored of Doug the Enormous Potato that I didn't get to really talk about. Oh, before we get to our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. Oh, give me some ideas, people. Help me out with this, people. I can't hold this till next week. This is urgent. This is a thing. All my years of early adulthood, Jewish person, I didn't go trick-or-treating. I did when I was a kid. My mom dragged me around to a couple of houses. Did not enjoy it. But I have a sweet tooth. I like candy. And it irks me, the cost of candy. I mean, long before the current...
No, honey, let it go.
No, I'm not letting it go.
Let it
The cost, even before the
Let it go.
inflation of the Biden administration and whatever, and everything going up and shortages,
go.
candy was nuts. Like an 8-ounce pack of Hershey or Cadbury or Dove or anything has suddenly got a fucking bag of potato chips is $3 for 9-10 ounces of. I mean, it's nuts. So I don't like paying that. I don't want to pay that. I was very happy and have been over the years that we never get trick-or-treaters, even when we were in Colorado or here. Virtually nobody came to the door, so I didn't have to buy like 4 bags of candy and spend money on that. I didn't even want to spend it on myself at those prices, So fine. But the one thing I could rely on years ago, one thing that you knew, the one great secret of Halloween, the true miracle, forget Linus and the Pumpkin Patch, the true miracle of Halloween was that if you just waited a day, if you just waited past October 31st into November 1st, right, you would go to the store and all this candy was now 50% off. There it was. The same thing that was $4 the day before is $2 now. Why? Because the clock turned and suddenly it was no longer the holiday and you can't sell a bag of Reese's Pieces with ghoulies and orange packaging, although Reese's Pieces always have orange packaging, on them because, well, it's no longer the holiday. It's weird. It's old. We're stocking for Christmas, so we got to get rid of these. Got to sell these. Sell them at a loss. Just get them out of the store. And you go day after, 2 days after, and the Dwayne Reeds, the CBSs, the Rite Aids, the shelf, like a whole side of a shelf, was stocked with all these chocolate candies, the M&Ms, and the Three Musketeers, and the Fifth Avenue bars, which I never was really into, and the Hershey's Kisses, and this and that, and not just the horrible candy corn. No, right?
Who likes candy corn?
Nobody likes candy. Nobody likes
Is
candy
the
corn.
candy corn just sugar?
It's these little, they're like traffic cones. Nobody likes these things. Stop making them.
That's funny.
Marshmallow Peeps also. Ugh. But candy bars, little Hershey bars, little crackles, right?
What's an crackle?
Yeah, I love crackles.
Chocolate.
Crackles. So all these things, suddenly you could go there and you'd buy like 5 bags. And they would last you for months because they don't really go stale for a very long time. So you wait till the day after Halloween. And for $20-$30, you would just have a haul of candy that would last you for weeks on end. And this is one of the joys of my life, saving money and having candy. When you put those two together, forget it. That's a beautiful. Well, what has happened in the last 2, 3, 4 years is that these stores have caught on. And now, unfortunately, I was not able to get to the store like the day after Halloween. But one day later, on November 2nd, I jumped into the car right after work. I was like, okay, I'm going to hit our local, I think I hit the Duane Reade first. Or it's not called, it's a Walgreens now.
Yeah.
I hit the Walgreens first. And I'm in there, I'm almost huffing and puffing to get into the door. I'm like, what do they have now? Maybe. Not only will they have things for 50% off, but because it's 3 days after, and they need to clear shelving room for Christmas items, there's going to be that 70% off. They're going to be, because they're going to have some bags of candy that aren't even that Halloween oriented, but they need to get them off the shelves, so they'll sell them for 50. But the Halloween stuff is 70% off. You get like a bag of Hershey Kisses for $1.50, right? Or the little mini Hershey bars. And the crackle, and Mr. Goodbar, who's the other, one of the other ones that they put in, the dark chocolate. Nobody wants that either.
Crackle, Mr. Goodbar, I think that's it.
Yeah, and they put the dark chocolate in there.
And then they
yeah.
put the regular.
Yeah, the yellow one. So it's like you just grab, right? And it lasts you forever. I bring candy into the office for my people, for the folks I work with. And, it's kind of like, I feel bad because I'm not doing it. Now, I wanted to be able to do it. And I know that after Halloween, I'll grab a bunch of bags, and I'm still giving them Hershey Kisses from last Christmas. Hang on, it tastes fine. It's been on my desk for months, and I'm like opening it up, and just, here's a few. So I go into the Walgreens, and there's nothing. I mean, there is like half of a shelf of fucking candy corns. And those are about 50% off. Nobody can't. There's no old Halloween. We're getting rid of this. Not at 30% off, not at 57, not 10% off. No, just regular bags being stocked already for Thanksgiving and Santa. Nothing. I leave almost wanting to scream at someone. And get back in the car and say, well, CVS, they have more candy, they've got a better selection. I go half a mile to the local CVS. I walk in. And already, I'm expecting the worst now. Because first, I ran into the Walgreens with all this hope stashed. Now I'm back to being Jewish. Now I'm back to being like, well, they're probably not going to have it, but maybe I'll get lucky. No.
Nothing?
No. They had some discount stuff on upcoming candy, but it was nothing. It was like, wasn't bad. It was like buy one, get the next one half off.
That's good. Something.
It's better than nothing, but you're still back to paying about $2.50, like $3. I should have probably gotten a couple actually, now that I think about it. But $2.50, $3 a bag, as opposed to $1.50, $2. One of the greatest moments in my life was last year, just by sheer serendipity. I was in the local supermarket, and they had these, they weren't even on the shelves. They were like over towards the side when they keep firewood logs, fireplace logs and things like that, off spray. And it was totally the off season. And there, on these paper display cardboard shelves, were these multiple bags, dozens and dozens of bags of Hershey Kisses. And they were all marked 50, 50, 50. And I passed it one time. You know how you are about these things. I'm like, what? And And I pass it again. I look at it, it's a 5-0. And then I'm like, I finally go to a guy who's standing there working for the store. And I say, is this actually true? Is it like, are these bags, regular bags of Hershey Kisses, 50 cents each? And he said, yeah, we're remaindering them.
Oh, happy time.
I think I bought 10.
You did.
I should have bought 50. And the girl at the checkout didn't even believe it. She was like putting it down on the scanner thing. I said, these are like 50 cents each. She said, really? And she went to check. And it's like, 50 cents each. Wham. I should have run back right then. I'd be eating them now. Dear God. That has not happened since.
You have to let it go, honey.
I can't let it go.
You have to let it
Where does the Halloween candy go? If it's
it goes to the secret Halloween Candyland.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Does it really?
Yeah.
You say Candyland 3 times and suddenly somebody snatches all your candy.
I think maybe some diabetics got together and said no more sugar.
This so upsets me and so disturbs me because it's not as if they've sold. If I could understand if every last bag of chocolate and candy got sold during Halloween for trick-or-treaters and they don't have any left on the shelves. Okay, fine. Yeah. But no, there's dozens and dozens of bags of these things.
How do you know?
In packaging, because if you were there the day before.
Maybe the stores are only ordering enough to. I don't know.
When I was there, like October 30th, 31st, there was plenty of candy on the shelves.
I told you should just go and ask them. You have to investigate this. Do an investigative report. You're a journalist. Go take a microphone. Go in there.
Where do they
when
go?
When I'm getting my flu shot, you could go down the aisles and try. You can't take a video with your phone, but you could try to somehow,
What happened?
Yes.
Where did these things? Because
you should ask the manager.
And I would say, look, if they went to a food bank, fine, God bless them. And they took, but have much more of a feeling that they just go right back to the manufacturer and are destroyed because it's cheaper for the manufacturer to sell full price Christmas things than to have people buy a whole bunch of half price.
Remember when we were in the Walgreens in Greeley? They were there for like a week. It would be like 75, 50. Yeah.
Yes. Life was good then.
Things were simple, honey.
Where if somebody knows this, if you've ever worked for one of these places,
you have to get somebody who works in a store. Yeah.
And the sea changed because not in the supermarket. Not in the Dwayne Reeds. And fuck the Targets and those. You go online looking for Halloween candy.
How do you know it's not in person, though?
That I don't know. I haven't been in person to a Walmart or a Target. Maybe yes. Maybe they stock their Halloween remainders. And if they do, let me know. And next year, will I buy them out? Will I make the right choice? But this is so upsetting to me. This is... and it's not like, I've got a little bit of a tummy and I do like candy, but I don't like gorge. I'm not like one of these 1950 cliche women who just sit on the couch eating bonbons all day, although I would like to. But, I like it as a snack, having 3 or 4 Hershey Kisses. Nummy. Keeps me going at work. So I don't want to pay from my salary in New York $4.50 for a fucking bag of Hershey Kisses. Or a couple of Hershey bars, or a Crackle, or Dove, or who else? Nestle. I don't think you don't really see Nestle do it that much. The bags of things, but anyway, I just had to get that off my chest and off my belly, ladies and gentlemen. Where does the Halloween candy go after Halloween? Used to stay, used to be sold for a week or two, and then it would disappear. Now, gone. I think Santa comes down the chimney not December 25th, but he comes down like midnight on November 1st. And he just goes, I'm taking this. The elves is hungry. And there's some full price shit that you can give all the kids. Anyway. I'm head up. I'm all steamed. You know what would calm me down? A limerick. That's what would mellow my mind, ladies and gentlemen. A short poem about a place in the world, specifically a place in Colorado. We call these Colorado limericks of the damned.
You're the poetry man. A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick. Rocky Mountain,
Colorado, Rado, indeed, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. So for several years now, I've been writing a new poem, 5-line amusing poem, or at least they amuse me, about various places in Colorado. Big cities, little tiny towns, counties, municipalities, special camping areas, anywhere that I can kind of drum up a poem where the first 2 lines and the 5th line rhyme, the internal lines rhyme as well. We call them limericks of the damned because, well, limericks are supposed to be a little bit risque, a little bit raunchy, a little bit comical and amusing. With apologies to Edward Lear, who used to do those terrible, supposedly funny ones. Well, anyway, today we go to Stratton, Colorado. Stratton, Stratton. Stratton is a small town in Kit Carson County, Colorado. It's in far eastern central Colorado, so on the eastern part of the state. Population of about 650 people, named in honor of gold miner Winfield Stratton. Both I-70 and Highway 24 go through it. So this is not one of those ghost town things. This is a real, actual, defined and busy community, although it's not huge. So I've written a poem about Stratton, Colorado, and here it is. A corpulent lady from Stratton would dirty her bedsheets of satin. They'd wipe her and change out her diaper, but still she could not keep her scat in. Please send your comments and complaints to davesgoneby@aol.com, davesgoneby@aol.com, and also feel free to post on this, when you're watching the show or even after the show's over on Facebook. You can post your thoughts. You can even message me directly if you are a friend of me on here. So either way, I would love to hear from you. davesgoneby@aol.com, probably the best way to get in touch. I can't answer everything, but I do try and read everything. So if you have any requests or ideas or thoughts or complaints, that's the way to go.
Discount candy and tips?
Yeah, if you've heard my spiel and you're like, oh, didn't you know that Costco or whatever it is has discount Halloween candy going all the way into February? I'll be like, thank you. Always happy to get suggestions and ideas. So, have some ideas about who will be guests coming up in the Daverhood. I don't want to say who they are because I don't have anything fixed from week to week, but we've got some really cool, good people in the pipeline over the next bunch of weeks as we do show after show, episode after episode of this program, Dave's Gone By. For more information about the show, remember to go to davesgoneby.com and hear nearly all the other 820-something episodes of the show for free. Want to do a big thank you to a bunch of people. First of all, thank you to David Sheward and Leslie Hoban Blake for playing our Today Yesterday quiz. And a big congratulations to our victorious Vicki, who won, and rather handily too, our Today Yesterday quiz. Vicki Quade, go see her in Late Night Catechism playing at the Greenhouse Theater in Chicago. David Sheward, read his blog, The David Desk, as well as his reviews in theaterlife.com and culturaldaily.com. And of course, Leslie Hoban Blake and our friend Charlie Gross reviewing theater and also interviewing and talking about theater on their show, Critics Circle, which you can watch on the Critics Circle channel on YouTube. And most of all this week, well, thank you also to my darling, adorable, and wonderful wife, Joyce. Thank you, Joyce. Do you have any concluding words for the episode?
I think it's amazing Vicki won. Wow.
Boy, that's a little insulting. I mean, she's a very bright. She's played the
but I
game
mean,
a bit.
like,
Yeah.
because usually David has like all sorts of competitive ways, and Leslie's not won in a while. So I'm curious to see who's going to win next week.
And it wasn't a runaway game.
No, it was very
Vicky won
close.
handily, but it was everybody did.
But Vicky is the most unassuming winner. She's like, "Oh, I won, great." She's not like, "I won."
Well, we don't know what she does after she gets off camera. She could be running around her neighborhood in Chicago.
I think she goes to the CVS and gets discount candy.
I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, most of all, big thank you and big shout out and a congratulations and a mazel tov to my cousin Joshua Pinkow. So great to see him. So great to talk to him. And unfortunately, we did not get to see his lovely wife Dana, but she's a little busy. She's a little, it's only been 12 days since they gave birth to little adorable Luke Foster Pinkow. Yeah. And the cute kid is also a friend of the Daverhood now, has been on the show in a cameo kind of way. It'd be cool if we keep tabs on him, like the 7 movie series.
You
Remember?
could do it like every year on this date, like November 6th.
And close to his birthday,
that'd be funny.
Just see how he's doing and all that, and see if he's robbing banks yet or whatever little Luke is doing. If he has cool hands, we will let you know.
Lord.
Anyway, I gotta hand it to you. I gotta hand this Zoom feed over back to the Zoom folks. It's 12:30 in the afternoon Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. Please tune in next Saturday, the 13th, I believe it will be, for the 824th episode that says the sperms will stop swimming because they've done their job. There we go. We'll leave a little baby sperm in there because you never know. So, yes, we'll have episode 824 next Saturday here in the Daverhood. Please join us then. Until then, don't miss your days going by and gone by.
Days gone by, days gone by, days gone by, days gone by.
Oh, and don't forget to set your potato clocks.